Alright, this is King Bucha. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the Boxing Debate Arena. Sunday edition. Post fight Fury versus Wilder 3. The one that finally ended it all. We're gonna be opening the phone lines. StreamYard. I wanna hear what you have to say. Alright guys, give me 2 seconds. I need to do something on Twitter here. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We have acquisitions are us, Andre Shooter, who's a member of the BDA family, Boxing Fairy Tale Live, Iron Fist Underground, Growerk, I don't know who it is, Hammond, Mr. BDA Boxing saying this is 90s porn music. That's pretty much what it is from the 90s porn playlist that I have over here. But guys, yeah, I think Fury is gonna have to leave Earth finally and go to space and become a king somewhere else. Now, listen, I do give credit to Tyson, to Deontay Wilder. He showed heart. He did show heart in the second fight. Didn't want to give up, even though he wasn't doing that much. In this fight, pretty much the same thing happened. Although he did manage to get two knockdowns. He managed to get 2 knockdowns, but still, after that. Before that and after that, he didn't really do that much other than just survive. But credit to the guy. You know, he was out on his feet basically for most of the fight. But this show is about those who claim that Tyson Fury was a cheater and who claim that the only reason why Tyson Fury won in the second fight was because he was cheating. He had something in his gloves. There's no way Tyson Fury can generate enough power to hurt the king, right? Unless he cheats, unless he puts some sort of egg weight on his gloves or inside his gloves, some sort of metal object. All of a sudden, these people now some of them are now just giving props to Fury. Yeah, Fury, good fight. Props to Fury. But Wilder is the number 2 heavyweight. I don't know how they managed to come to that conclusion that Wilder is the second best heavyweight because he lost 3 times to Fury. So basically, you lose 3 times to Tyson Fury. All of a sudden, you're number 2. That's not really how it fucking works. All right, but anyways, the same people that are like now giving props to Tyson Fury are the same people that were claiming that Fury was a cheater, and not only a cheater, like a major cheater. Like he could have basically killed Deontay Wilder in that second fight because he dented or cracked his skull. Right. So now they're giving props to Fury instead of calling him a cheater because he is a cheater. Right? I don't know. Somehow they just forgot about that incident. Now, it's okay if he cheated in the second one. You know, it's fine. But they failed to explain to us how Tyson Fury managed to win this fight without cheating. And if he managed to win this fight without cheating, then that means that he could have won the second fight without cheating either. Or as well, I should say. So anyways, complete contradictions. I want people to call in. A lot of people had a lot to say before the fight, and now they disappear. There was this guy called Ho something on the Discord. By the way, if you haven't checked out the BDA Discord, go check it out right now. The link is in the description. It's a 24/7 live chat application. Anyways, this guy was in the chat talking all this shit. Now he disappeared. Now, if he would have stayed in the chat and said, you know what, I was wrong. Props to Fury, I would have said, okay, I can kind of forgive you. But no, that guy just disappears. Unbelievable. Well, actually, pretty believable from these guys. All right. Oh, by the way, some people are saying, "Oh, why are you talking about the LTBC? Why are you talking about this?" Like, they just don't want us to address these guys because we're gonna make fun of them, basically. Oh, some of them also say like, "Oh, they don't even know about you guys, and you guys are talking." Yeah, they wouldn't know about us because we are a real boxing channel. These guys are not into boxing; they're into race baiting and just following 2 or 3 boxers. So obviously, they're not gonna follow our channel. I mean, this is a boxing channel. But for today, we might bend or even break those rules because I'll be hosting, and you know how I roll when it comes to the LTBC. Yeah. It's no holds barred today, people. Again, the phone lines will be open. StreamYard will be open. Let's have a civil conversation here. If you disagree with what I'm saying, that's fine. Just show respect, and I'll show respect as well, and we can have a debate slash discussion. All right, let me start inviting people on on Discord first, and then we'll move on to the phone calls. Let's see. Let's see how this shit works. Here we go. All right. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. In the meantime, what do we have? All right. Oops. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. In the fuck meantime, what do we have? Hello. I was hearing myself. Anyways, hello. All right, we have Chief in here. We have Jimmy. We have Revolucion and Mr. BDA. Mr. BDA might be joining us maybe later, I think. But who wants to go first? Chief, go ahead.
Well, I missed the show last night, and I apologize for not being available for you guys. But so we're talking about the fight last night, obviously, correct?
Of course.
So is anybody shocked that we've pretty much called most of this the way it went? I mean, Wilder put up a pretty good effort. I can't. Some may say a very good effort, but he overachieved what he was able to do. But the end result was pretty much what we thought. He was going to get a beating. He took a beating. He was going to lose. He lost. He was going to get knocked out. He got knocked out. What part of what we talked about didn't happen?
Yeah, I mean, I guess some people are going to say, well, Fury went down. You know, you didn't expect that.
Well, we acknowledged the fact that he had the power to do that. We never dismissed the fact that none of this was a possibility. And the way he set it up was actually somewhat of an improvement. He jabbed down to the body, went up to the throughout 11 rounds. All this 20 months of practice, 20 months of improvement, 20 months of everything else. He showed it for one flash. That was it. And it worked for a knockdown. It won him around. But everything else was pretty much more of the same. Measuring with the left, loading up with the right. No real body work inside. No real inside game. No uppercut at all. And I'm not trying to take away from the effort of how he took a man-sized beating, but he took it like a man. We've got to give credit for there is that he took everything that Fury had. He got up to the best of his ability. He kept fighting the whole way through. He kept trying to, but once he got knocked down, once Fury got up basically, and he started to really put it on Wilder. Wilder resorted to what he did in the last fight, moving backward, not side movement. Not using a jab, went right back to just moving backward, and that's what enabled Fury to beat him up. Now, real quick, before we move on to anybody else, Fury didn't do himself any favors on 277. There was no head movement. There wasn't a whole lot of boxing ability there from him. He just overpowered a man. I'm not positive these guys. Shannon Briggs said that he doesn't think that the guys from the 90s would have beaten both of these guys the other night. I'm inclined to somewhat agree with him. I know that Fury's big and strong, but he doesn't punch that hard. Lennox Lewis, maybe, but Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, guys that can take their punch and box, might have frustrated both of these guys last night.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's debatable, but
it is.
Yeah, that's something we're gonna touch upon. Whether where do we rank all these? I mean, some people are saying that now Fury is a Hall of Famer. Both of them, actually. Some people are saying that both of these fighters are Hall of Famers. I'm not sure how you come to that conclusion. Well, because they fought 3 times.
I don't either.
It doesn't make sense. We're gonna get to that. Let's go to somebody else.
I'll comment on that when it comes up.
Yeah. By the way, Carlos Ruiz in the chat. Thank you for your contribution, man. He says, "Wonder what Wilder's autopsy is going to reveal." Oh yeah, we're gonna wait for that guy Tate Jones or whatever to start making some shit up. Jimmy, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
How you doing, man? Welcome. Yeah, well, we talked yesterday, but what do you think? Well, I don't know if you've been following what's been happening on social media.
I have. I didn't even go to sleep. I was only slept a couple hours. I was pretty jammed up. I had some stuff to do this morning. So yeah, but check. Yeah, I see a lot of that too. Well, those punches, his ticket in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, what? For getting beat up? Yeah. And he lost. And listen, let's not make a mistake. Even Tyson Fury, his own fucking when he's done his typical you say what you say. I was a better blah blah blah. I mean, he even straight up says it. I didn't look good tonight. This was not a good performance. I haven't fought in 2 years. My conditioning wasn't that great. Listen, they were both guppying, mouths wide open after the third round. I mean, it got to the point after the fifth round, whoever landed the next clean shot was winning that fight. They just couldn't land it. You know what I mean? It was just, I mean, look at excitement because of the nerves involved and, you know, the anxiousness of it. And everybody knew it was on the line. There was a lot of emotion. But for skill, like if you put that if you grab somebody who had no idea anything about, you know, all the accusations, all the bullshit, and just watch that fight, you would say, yeah, okay, that was sloppy as fuck. You know what I mean? So
agreed.
So many people were like, you know, fucking Hall of Fame. You know, Dan Raphael's on. You're giving it just the best heavyweight championship fight I've seen in my time fucking covering boxing. Well, that's just an indictment on the sport then. You know what I mean? Give me a fucking break. I think Joshua and as far as the boxing match
fights
goes,
ringside back when Tyson Holyfield fought.
Exactly. But I think Usyk Joshua was a more technical, better fight. I mean, that was an actual boxing match with skills. I mean, listen, Fury. I mean, while Fury himself was so out of shape, a few times he was very lazy in his defense, and it even cost him in the fourth round because he was so anxious to get him out of there. And then Sugar Hill after him, not only did I watch the press conference, but then I started watching all the videos, people who caught, you know, Fury by himself in the hallway. So it's all these unscripted things, and he's saying, man, Sugar Hill was pissed at me. He was screaming at me in the corner. What are you fucking doing? Get this fucking guy out of there. Like he was screaming at me because he said he was ready to go. And it took me 4 rounds. He goes, and I apologize for that. So when you have a fighter apologizing for his performance, how is this the greatest heavyweight fucking fight ever? I don't know. I think it's the desperateness of this generation. I mean, we're so desperate for good fights. Listen, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the Hall of Fame for Jimmy, no way.
Yes. Remove the 2 knockdowns from Wilder, which happened some consecutively, like in a short amount of time. Anyways, remove those knockdowns, and what do you have? You have Wilder surviving the whole fucking time, basically, since round 2.
Outside of the first round,
beat down.
Yep. Outside of the first round, he showed a couple of nice wrinkles. I liked the way he was going to the body. Unfortunately, he didn't mix it to the head with the jab. He was just solely fixated on. I mean, you go up and down, you try to get the hands moving.
Yeah.
But then he just abandoned it. He took a shot, and again, third round, his mouth was wide open in the Brent going to the corner, and he was, I mean, barely holding himself up. And even even the knockdown, man, even the final knockdown. It was as much as lungs were burning. He had no oxygen in his blood, and it doesn't take much. And I got to tell you right now, man, this dude's punch resistance is shit. I mean, you look back at every single shot that caught him, fucking shook him.
Those big jabs that he got caught with. Right? What were they doing?
Yeah. They were shaking him, and on top of that, then I just kept hearing
shaking his knees.
Yeah, and every time I kept hearing Jay, I kept hearing to myself, "You got no power. You got no power. You had to cheat. You got no power."
Oh yeah, that's what I was mentioning.
You, dude, right?
Yeah, where are the fucking
no power?
There's no way he can hurt. Now they're humbled, and now they're like giving props to Fury. It's like, well, you know, he won the fight. Okay, but wait a minute. You were telling me that there's no way Tyson Fury can hurt Deontay Wilder without cheating. Now all of a sudden he can hurt Wilder without cheating, and that doesn't make sense. What happened now?
Or they believe it, right? Say they still believe it, but they're willing to forgive. So you say you have nothing but love for this man. You're going to ride and die with him. So you say this dude put a fucking metal object in his glove, try to kill him, but you're all cool with it now because he beat him fair and square the third time? Fuck's wrong with you? You know what I mean? It's just now
that he's beaten you fair and square basically 3 times.
Now we forgive you. I told you though, a lot of them will abandon. You're going to see a lot of that abandoned.
Has this been the most fucking one-sided trilogy in boxing history?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, why? Like, it's so unnecessary.
You know what? But this is in the UFC. Chief mentioned Shamrock against Tito Ortiz, and yeah, I remember that. I was like, why did they like having 3 fights? Because Tito Ortiz dominated the whole time. But yeah, in boxing,
like after the second fight, Ken Shamrock can be like, What can I learn from this? Oh yeah, don't fight Tito Ortiz. That's a good lesson. Let me do it a third time and see what happens.
That was strictly games of the promotions. That's all.
Shamrock, an all-time fucking legend of UFC and MMA.
Oh, yeah,
You know, he
absolutely.
was there from the beginning, so he has that like kind of star power. But who the fuck is Deontay Wilder to earn
But
a
wait,
fucking
like,
triple
guys,
threat?
let's also talk about Fury. Like, and like Jimmy mentioned, he didn't look that good, man. And
No,
Chief mentioned he
absolutely
looked
not.
overweight. He's too fat. Like, he has to come down in weight. This is getting ridiculous. He might have worked for the second fight, but it became like a hindrance or a handicap for this fight.
Look, he's going through a little flux. I understand him. I understand his emotions. He didn't have a good training camp. You could tell. But deep down, he is a fucking businessman. He'll swing back for the next fight. That's what I'm saying. Because even he's looking at this and saying, "Oh, I look like shit." That's going to give him the incentive to come out. Because when he rides high, that's when he starts to dip low. And when he dips low, he starts to ride high. And you can tell that he's prescient of that. He knows what state he's at, and that's going to motivate him.
I think he's got one more fight and he's going to retire. I think if he takes on Usyk, he might have and he's going to retire because he keeps saying, I'm so in tune with motivation. Like, I need something. And when you start, I can't stress enough, dude, when you start having tens of millions of dollars in the bank, it's kind of hard to put yourself through that bullshit. He's only been home twice, 2 weeks in the last 6 months. He's got a new baby at home. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of shit. And like he said, he needs motivation.
He knows how to
what
live off
motivation
very low money. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go, bro.
Well, and unless he's changed his lifestyle now that he's got money as a gypsy, he knows how to live off of modest means. So, I mean, the money he's made off of these 3 fights alone, he won't. He stuffs it in the mattress underneath the out wherever the gypsies are, and then he doesn't have to do anything anymore.
Well, that suit he had on, you know that flowery yellow suit with the tight pants? It was just a jacket and suit. That's a $7,000 outfit. That's Versace.
So
that
maybe
tell you
he
how
is living a little bit
frugal anymore. Yeah, he's driving a Ferrari and he's buying $7,000 fucking Versace shit. So, yeah, Rolex watch. He's dropping, fucking.
Well, he's making a lot of money. Can he actually retire, Jimmy? If he's making that much money, we know how boxing is. We know how these boxers think. What motivates
75%, I think. 75% file for personal bankruptcy within 3 years of retiring.
Jeez.
Same thing with NFL football players.
Yeah.
An extremely high amount file bankruptcy within 3 or 4 years because of that. They don't realize, man. When you're young, dude, if you don't have good people, because think about it, when we were all in our early 20s, man, we're invincible. Nothing's gonna harm us. Everything lasts forever. Because you're not used to adversity and all that other shit, so they don't learn. And there's a term for what they become.
Yeah.
He's invested in Hex, man. He's good.
In what?
Hex.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the hot new coin.
Oh, that thing that gives you yeah, I heard about it, but I don't know. They say it's fishy something. Anyways, we'll talk about
sorcery money.
9:37. You're all right, guys. 9:37. You're on the air. 9:37.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing tonight? I was gonna see if I could get the panel to jump in on this question I had, but
hold on, caller, hold on. You guys can't hear the caller?
No, I can't hear the caller.
No, not at all.
I cannot hear the caller either.
Shit. Well, that's
wait. I can hear everybody.
Did I expand your vocabulary?
All right, hold on. Everybody, quick, quiet. Caller, go ahead. Say something.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Hello. Hi. I was wanting the panel to jump in on this, but I've heard a few different theories.
Hello, caller. Sorry, caller, man, but they can't fucking hear you for some reason. It's crazy because it doesn't make sense because I do have you on line in. Shit.
Okay, hold on. How about this? Is this better?
No, it's not your end. It's on my end.
Oh, okay.
I know what's going on. Just 2 seconds. I know what it is. It's my fault.
Take your time, Bucho. No rush, brother.
Mea culpa, man. All right. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, yeah, I had a question. I wanted to see what the panel thought about this, but I thought that, Malik Scott's idea to have Wilder bulk him up and put more muscle on him and more body work, like, it sounds practical, but at the same time, I feel like that's what kind of hurt him in the end, because it took away, like, Wilder, and I'm not a big fan of Wilder, especially with how he's been acting, but the way he's got really good really long arms, and he's really fast, so he can cover distance real quick. And I feel like all that extra muscle, it's kind of like powerlifting. Like, you get the weight up real quick, but I feel like in the end that's what really hurt him, because when he was smaller, he was still able to get in and out, and he was actually able to wrestle Fury off a little bit better too. So I don't know. I want to. What do you guys think?
Guys, what do you think about the Deontay Wilder's weight, 238?
Oh, Jimmy and I talked about this, saying that if he was actually putting on that much muscle while trying to keep up his cardio, which obviously he wasn't, then he would have been taking up to 6,000 calories a day in order to do that, in order to increase your stamina while putting on size, and it apparently didn't happen that way. So my point in bringing that back up is it wasn't going to help his scenario of an inside fight of holding his own when the idea needed to be an early knockout. Because if you're not going to have the stamina, you don't need to be putting on weight for the wrestling in the 8th or 9th round. You need to be taking him out early, and it didn't help him at all in that aspect.
Yeah, in that department, it didn't help him out, but it did help him out becoming a little bit more strong to be able to keep Wilder's weight off him.
Right. I just from the beginning, right when you told me his weight, I said that's not a smart idea. I was actually when Steve Kim said it best. He said, "Wait a minute, is it me or didn't the whole fucking thing for the second fight was he had no legs under him because he was sucking wind." So his response was not to get his legs bigger, but his upper body, thereby putting more pressure on his lower legs. Just didn't make sense, and it played out as such.
So fucking
It looked
mismanaged.
good while he was hurting him.
The only good thing about Wilder being managed was his fucking bullshit career
Hold on.
until he got my bad.
Let the caller say something else, and we move on. Go ahead, caller.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say it looked like it was a great idea when he rocked him, but I just knew every second that went down, he just looked worse and more tired and more tired. And it was cool to see. He stayed into it and he hung in there as long as he could. But I just thought it was a dumb game plan, and I thought that if he would have actually listened to Mark Breland, I feel like Mark Breland would have gave him a better plan. At least he was going to taught him the right hand to begin with. But that's all, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, good call. Thanks. Call back again. Yeah, good point about
Ucho, like you said, where's all the calls? Where's all the people who would call us, tell us, just scream at us about how great Wilder was and couldn't let us get a word in edgewise? Where are all these guys?
Yeah,
well, I'll take
Jimmy,
the one on
so
last
much
night.
to say, man.
Hopefully,
I
they're
take
gonna
it
call.
one last night either.
Well, we have more calls. So maybe one of these will be one of those crazy callers that called in last time. All right, let's take
hear
another.
it, man.
773, you're on the air. 773. Oh dear God, Kevin.
Crazy callers.
Is that Kevin?
That's not me. This is Mr. Logic and Facts. Logic and Facts calling. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. How are you, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go
I
ahead,
can barely
Kevin.
hear him. He's checking in and out, but that could
shit.
be on my end.
No, I couldn't hear that.
All right, I'll talk a little bit louder. How's that, Jimmy?
I can hear you now.
Okay. What's funny is, did you think that Fury was hurt in that 10th round? Was he as hurt as you looked? Looked like he got stung a little bit.
Nah, I don't know. I have to rewatch that part.
I think again it was his condition was so poor, dude. Anything that hit him was gonna be potential dangerous.
Yeah, but
When
at
you're
that
sucking
point,
that much
Kevin,
oxygen.
anything that Wilder was landing, he wasn't really hurting Fury at that point because Wilder was so tired, his power went out at that point, I think.
Oh yeah, I was waned.
Yeah.
It was one of those shots that was on the side of the head behind the ear. I think it kind of threw off his equilibrium again, kind of like that earlier shot of the second knockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So this brings me to my point regarding Fury and his chin, his durability. I don't know if he doesn't got the iron chin that people think. I don't think he's got an iron chin. He's been knocked down. Cunningham dropped him, hurt him bad. He's been knocked down by Wilder, hurt him bad. He was able to get back up. This fight, he got knocked down twice. He got hurt again in the 10th off a guy who could barely stand. I don't think he's got an iron chin. So I think this Usyk, if people are already counting out Usyk. They're already counting him out, just like they did against Joshua, just like they did against him when he came up to heavyweight. Oh, he's too little, ain't going to be nothing. And now look at, he's got 3 belts. And he's going to be unification about against the big gypsy. So don't count out.
No, Kevin.
Take him serious.
Yeah, but listen. That right hand that Wilder landed on Fury, a lot of heavyweights wouldn't have gotten back up, though.
Yeah.
A lot of that was what?
A lot of heavyweights wouldn't have been able to take that Deontay Wilder right hand. Now, Fury took that right hand. I mean, he did go down, he got back up, he won the fight.
Yeah.
Kevin's got a good point that he doesn't have a cast iron chin, but he's able to withstand everything that every heavyweight today has been able to throw. He hasn't taken Joshua's punch yet, but they may never fight. I think he'll be able to take Usyk's punch. That doesn't necessarily mean that he'll beat Usyk. By all means, does that mean that I think he's going to be the winner just because he can take that shot? But his chin's good enough for today. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, Muhammad Ali was dropped 5 times, was never KO'd. Juan Manuel Marquez, too. That guy was never knocked out, but he was dropped multiple times. So, I mean, you might go down on points, but him being a boxer, if he shows up in shape, he will win rounds to where if he gets dropped once or twice, he has a good chance of winning on the scorecards. And he's got the heart to get up from the canvas. And sometimes he applies pressure after getting hurt.
All right, we got to move on, Kevin. Anything else?
He's got the hog size. Yeah, but this is my point down to Fury is Fury got hit by Wilder, the big puncher, but the thing with Wilder is who has he fought to say that they got a chin, they can withstand it? The big wins against an old-ass Ortiz, and then it was a Stavern or something. So to say, like, oh, this big puncher and everybody he punches before, any other heavyweight, he's fought no other elite heavyweights.
All right, Kevin, who has a chin? Kevin, who has a chin in the heavyweight? Who has a good chin, in your opinion, right now, in the heavyweight division?
Usyk. Usyk has the best chin in heavyweight.
Okay, we'll see about that. All right, Kevin, thanks for calling, all right?
I've never seen Usyk get hurt. Usyk has never been hurt. He's never been rocked.
All right.
Dude, he's everything.
All right, Kevin.
All right, my ass. All right, my ass.
All right, see ya, man. Take care.
Hey, Bucho, did you see that guy get knocked down by Frank Sanchez? Ajagba?
No, I stopped watching after the 6th round. He was so boring. I was like, fuck that shit, man. I'm going to do something else before the main event. So I was falling asleep.
Yeah, that dude's not a puncher, but that guy had been dropped once before, but yeah, he got dropped pretty hard with the counter shot like the ones that Canelo throws. I guess he learned it from him.
I remember. I wanted to say something about Wilder's his power. You remember when he hit Gerald Washington with that punch, right? The straight right hand?
Yeah.
And then he got right back up?
Mm-hmm. That was it? All right.
Yeah, I'm...
You're breaking up, man. All right, let's move on. We got a lot of phone calls, guys. 619, you're on the air. 619.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right, did you guys see the news in Israel? Akai TV just blew himself up in Israel.
What?
Akai TV just blew himself up in Israel right now.
I don't understand what you're saying, man. You sound really low.
Sounds like you said something blew up in Israel.
Something blew up in Israel?
Akai TV, he blew himself up there.
Good.
Oh, Akai TV. Yeah, I know that is. Yeah, I listened to his last video. He was saying, actually, I wrote stuff down. Akai TV, this guy who's very biased, was saying that Wilder looked different. I don't know what that means. He looked different. He looked tired from round 2. He said for some strange reason, he didn't look the same. I don't know what he's implying there, but go ahead, caller.
Well, what he says is that Wilder was never the favorite for the second fight because of the cheating or the damage he received. That's a new excuse.
All right, listen, I have trouble hearing you. Man, call back again when you're inside or something. All right, man. All right, see ya.
All right.
Take care, man. Yeah, guys, if you're gonna call in, make sure you're inside and you sound really fucking loud, or else we can't hear you. It's 561. You're on the air. 561. You're on the air.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just want to say I finally caught that match. Seen it last night. I didn't really see the second fight. I saw the first fight, but I tell you, that was a great fight. I really didn't think Deontay Wilder was going to win anyway, but I'm surprised about the effort that he put up. Obviously, I think that he got tired really fast, and Fury, he's a big guy. Who can beat Fury at that size? That's like a he reminded me of Super Punch Out, Bear Hugger. You remember that guy from Super Punch Out? He's like a giant in that. I think Fury is the best of his generation because I just don't see anybody being able to beat him at that size that he's at now. I mean, I don't think it's everything to do with his boxing skill. I think it's a lot to do with his maybe his boxing knowledge and the way that he uses his weight, because he obviously drained Wilder. But I was surprised he got up off those 2 hits that Wilder had laid him out with. But overall, man, that was a great fight. I got my money's worth. And you know what? I think Wilder, maybe he can retire right now. Who else he's really going to fight with? His nemesis, Tyson Fury. And, he lost to him, and I don't think that he can beat him. So, but overall, great fight. Hats off to both fighters. They put on a great fight. I'm not mad at Deontay. He did what he can. He went out on his shield, and, it is what it is. The best man won. All right, thanks.
All right, thanks for calling. Take care. All right, let's take another phone call. 818, you're on the air. 818.
Hey, Bucho, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man? What's on your mind?
I just want to say, it was pretty clean, man. Last night, I'm doing pretty good. I'm still buzzing. Man, yesterday, what caught my interest yesterday, I noticed that going into this fight, Fury was painted as some type of villain, which I thought was a weird narrative that I saw online. And then when you're watching the fight, you hear the crowd just chant Wilder. So it kind of felt like maybe they were about to rob him or something, or I don't know. It just had that energy. I was like, oh man, Fury has to get him out of there. If not, it's going to be a draw or a split decision win for Wilder. And I really do believe they would have gave it to Wilder. I don't care what those scorecards online were posted. They would have gave it to him, man.
Yeah, I was concerned too. And I remember the crowd, there was a lot of, there was a lack of Fury supporters from Britain because I think it's difficult for them to travel. I think that was the reason, but yeah.
It was a ban. They could not travel at all.
They couldn't travel at all. Okay, there you go.
100% ban.
Okay, well.
It was such a weird vibe, man. But hopefully somebody noticed it too, and I wasn't tripping out or something.
No, I noticed it too, man. I mean, it's boxing. You never know what can happen. And the referee was shit. We knew who he was. He's one of the worst referees I've ever seen as well. He's up there with Joe Cortez. He was always there, intervening, pushing Fury. He was, why? Stop touching that guy, man. Like, he's pushing him before the round starts. He was like a fly, just fucking bothering you, man. Go ahead.
Did you see the doctor go into the ring with no explanation? The doctor went into the ring for no reason for a minute too, and I was just like, "What's going on?" And I think somebody was saying he broke his hand, or so. I don't know. It just felt weird.
Yeah, the referee shouldn't have. Why does he wait for the in between round to end, and then he goes in the ring to waste some time? He was in it as well. But anyways, caller, we got to move on. Thanks for calling.
That wasn't about his hand. I guess it was about just his overall condition with that, because his grabbing his hand and pushing it with his glove. Remember, I commented. I said that's a habit he does right before he throws a big punch, and he did it again last night.
He was doing it multiple times.
Again, the doctor, guys. What do you think about that? Though he goes inside the ring. Why? To check after it was just weird, man. Giving time to...
He's probably just an idiot.
And remember, they have full power. The doctor's the most powerful man at ringside. He can do pretty much anything he wants. He can step in the ring if he sees something he didn't like. Say if Wilder stood up and his equilibrium looks shot, he can call time. I want to see his eyes. So he has the power to do all that. You just don't usually see him do it.
But not... So usually during the fight, the ref might... Well, he's the one that calls the doctor in, right? Usually...
Yes.
Like this,
well, yeah, if he wants the fight to be looked at. Also, guys, the counting thing I wanted to say too, I forgot to mention this last night. Do you know when you're part of the thing. If you're in a fucking boxing match and you do not go to a neutral corner, you pay a price for that non-compliance, because the ref can be going 4, 5, stop, go to a neutral corner, turn and go 6. He doesn't have to try to pick it up from somebody else. He can restart where he left off. If you lose 2 or 3 seconds because he had to deal with you, that's on you.
That's on you, yeah, because you should.
Not going to his
Refs usually
corner.
do that all the time.
Yeah, of course, because it's your fault.
Usually they don't go to 6.
Yeah, you're right, and it's your fault for not being in a neutral corner. You know this.
The
right?
count was still kind of long though.
Somebody posted a video. I think it was a second, 11 seconds. But come on, now you're really gonna start
11 seconds because Dum kept fucking wouldn't go to the corner.
We talking about the second fight?
Yeah.
This fight last night.
Oh, this happened last night. I mean, I watched it, but I didn't notice a long count. They're saying there was another long count on Fury's behalf.
Well, they were saying because the ref had to stop to in the count to tell Fury to go to. Wilder to go to his neutral corner. He was gloating in the center of the ring.
He's got 40-some-odd fights. He should be smart enough not to do that. That's his fault.
Yeah,
exactly.
They better not pick up this as an excuse or something. Let's go to another phone call. 267. You're on the air. 267.
Shit. Yo, what's up? I want to mention, and I don't want anybody to forget what Tyson Fury's entrance was, and I was rooting for him initially in that fight, but I just want to see whether it's Joshua, Usyk, Dillian White. I want to see somebody kick his ass for that entrance and subjecting me to that.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy. I don't know what the fuck that was, and I hope I never see that again.
That was disgusting.
Is this boxing or what? They're supposed to have a woman dancing or something, not some fucking creep there.
And King Bucho has that as his profile pic.
That's for
oh boy, it's really upsetting.
Purposes.
It's like they're trying. Do they know who their fan base is? They're trying to feminize. Boxing
they know
close to the nail in the coffin for
that
me.
Type of stuff.
It's Illuminati shit, I think, but that's a discussion for another show, I think.
That's the second Renaissance.
Yeah, that's for the second Renaissance. All right, anything else, caller?
Oh well, maybe I'll check in on that. Yeah.
Anyways,
all right, have a good one, boys.
All right, man, take care. All right.
Yeah. I was tripping over Deontay Wilder's shorts. It looks like a dog bit the pant leg.
It looked like an African skirt.
The what?
It looked like an African skirt.
The shorts he was wearing, it looked like a dog bit the leg off. He had a piece missing.
I thought it was okay. So that was the design of it or something. It looked pretty weird. All right, guys, let's take another phone call. Let's get through these phone calls. 917, you're on the air. 917.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Hey, what's up? I just want to say first off, Fury was definitely not in shape. You could tell he probably had a bad training camp because his defense and his reaction time was lacking a lot in the first 4 to 5 rounds. It wasn't until he got kind of clipped up that he was, he started using his twitchiness and his herky-jerky movements because he realized, okay, this is the real deal right now. But, he didn't start off like that, which is really weird. He was just swinging, without any type of boxing in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Go
ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, but other than that, I just wanted to say, for Wilder, his chin is definitely, I would say, underrated because this guy was just eating shots to the face, and not going down for a while. I mean, eventually he went down, but the guy was eating some shots. Granted, he wasn't doing anything after he was getting hit a lot of the time, but I don't know how he wasn't going down. I think his game plan to the body was actually really, really good, and I also think, contrary to what most people are saying, I think the weight gain helped him a lot too. Because if you notice in the clinch and you watch compared to the last fight, in the second fight, Fury was literally tossing him in the clinch against the ropes. When the ref would separate them, Wilder was right there in the ropes because Fury was literally just manhandling him. And then
because Fury could do that because he was in better condition last fight.
Wail on them.
Yeah, Jimmy
But
says
in this
that.
fight, Wilder was actually.
Yeah, we get. Okay, I get what you're saying, Jimmy. What did you say?
I said Fury was able to do that and tried to do it last fight because he knew he was in better shape. This fight coming in, he knew he had to be. The reason why he crowded himself and didn't step back like Ward's like he's got to step back and just create that space. He didn't have the energy to throw jabs. Never mind throw push Wilder around. He was he wasn't trying to do that wrestling stuff as much because it would have tired him too. He didn't have the legs under him for that.
Yeah, but Jimmy, even when he did get in close, he may have tossed him around, but he walked him backwards every time.
Yeah, he was still the one. You're not going to.
He was still the one 90% of the time pushing him back. So, with respect to the caller, I didn't see everything the caller saw. Doesn't mean I'm not going to argue with him. I just didn't see it the same way. I thought that the side may have kept him from being tossed around like a rag doll, but it didn't stop him from getting backed up. He was still getting out muscled from my point of view.
Okay, but he lasted almost twice as long. You got to look at that too.
I can look at that as the fact that maybe Fury wasn't as good a shape to keep the attack up. But but these are different points of view, and I'm respecting yours. I'm just saying
4 rounds more, right?
It could be Fury just was completely out of shape. Well, not completely. I mean, he was more out of shape than compared to the second fight. I mean, who knows? There's all these variables.
I think it was those 4 rounds. I think it was a mix. Fucking Fury couldn't land on him.
Listen, I don't think
Caller's saying that he almost lasted twice as long. He couldn't have lasted twice as long. It was only 12 rounds. How can you go to 14?
Yeah, but he said like 4
rounds. I mean, I said almost. I didn't say
he was on
exactly.
the way to making it.
He gassed after the second fucking round. So the weight obviously is not helping him, I think. Come on. You cannot gas into the second
benefited him
round.
for some things, but it hurt him for others. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So, I mean, it did well for some things.
Anyways, caller, call back again, all right? Interesting conversation. Call back again, all right? Take care. All right, we got guys. Let's take another phone call. 803, you're on the air. Yeah, 803. Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys can make all the excuses you want. You guys know that 4th round was bullshit. The count was extremely long. Wilder should be the victor. The WBC, the whole boxing commission, everybody knows that's bullshit.
Let him finish. Go ahead, caller.
Sorry, I thought it was muted.
And another thing, too, is Tyson Fury and his camp think they're slick. They knew going into this fight there was a glove scandal. So they said, listen, we're not going to mess with Fury's glove. We're going to go into Wilder's dressing room, and we're going to mess with his glove. So what they did is they put some sort of bullshit padding inside, and they made it where when Wilder punched,
you just invalidated any opinion you could possibly have by making that statement.
Destroyed his own opinion.
You listen.
Silliness.
Listen, you guys can make all the sense you want, but you're not going to convince me, okay? I know that was bullshit.
You don't have to.
I'm not expecting to convince
Listen,
you.
caller. Hold on, everybody. Caller, we've heard this before, all right? It's over. You need to wake up, snap out of it. Fury's the better boxer.
If he came with something other than his emotions, like maybe a fact, maybe like some physical evidence that there was cheating, sing just because there was. I mean, really?
So what are you saying, caller? There was what's happening here? What's the excuse now?
What I'm saying is, how was I? I know Jimmy said he wanted some LDBC bitches to call, so I did my best impression.
I never said bitches. I never said bitches.
He was faking. It's a fake.
You sound like a white guy, though.
Let the guy finish. Let the guy finish.
That was funny.
He was funny.
Hey, listen, there's some LDBC. There's some white guys in LDBC.
They won't call in, man. They won't call.
Oh, that's what. No. He's saying that he's just calling in and pretending to be.
He's pretending, guys. He was
joke.
I thought he was real.
Oh, you got me, dude.
Yeah, I heard Jimmy early was asking where the LGBT girls were.
Boo.
I was getting ready to prepare the fucking actual debate.
I knew when I heard his white voice.
was ready to get in that ass.
Is he still on, or did we let him go?
I knew when I heard his white voice that something wasn't right. I'm like, dude, you sound way too white to be a Wilder fan.
Yeah. All right, we gotta move on then.
Shut the fuck up, you little prick.
All right, caller, that was a good one.
I love you too.
We gotta move on. Thanks.
We all love you too.
All right. Damn it! I thought we had one. One fucking LDBC caller.
I kind of had a feeling he was trolling.
So we had one, and it wasn't legitimate.
No, it wasn't at all.
Hey,
All right,
recognize how you doing?
guys, cross
Doing
your
good,
fingers.
man. Doing good.
Guys, everybody, even in the
What's up,
chat,
buddy?
everybody, cross your fucking fingers. We have another phone call. 337. You're on the air. 337.
Now this might be one. Yeah.
What up, family? It's Dead Game Boxing.
Dead
good?
game.
Oh,
It's
this
kind of
Dead
LDBC.
Game.
It's not really LDBC, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, what a beautiful fight, man. This is going to go down in the history books. Salute to Tyson Fury. Salute to Bomb Squad Nation. They put on an excellent show for the fans.
Yeah.
Fury is obviously the best fighter to me right now. Deontay showed heart, outclassed, outmuscled, outskilled, outpowered. I mean, he just got outperformed, you know. Not going to take away nothing from Wilder. He did his thing. But Fury was the better man, bro. Not easily, but I mean, Fury still had gas, man. Wilder was gassed out, bro. He came out looking like a superstar that first round. That jab to the body, that straight to the body was looking beautiful. I think he just did too much too early. He moving a lot, throwing that jab. I mean, he exerted a lot of energy. He was touching Fury to the body, but all that body work to me had no effect.
What about
it
the
had
weight?
no effect on Fury.
What about Wilder's weight?
What?
What about Wilder's 238 weight? Was that a good idea or bad idea?
I mean, it maybe helped him a little bit. I think 212. I don't know, bro. He gassed so easily, bro. Even at a little bit lighter weight, he just gasses out. You know, I think 220, a little bit lighter. 215, because he is who he is, man. You put on that muscle on. It looked good, but I mean, I'm not. If you're a boxing fan, you don't care what the dude looked like. But
right.
He just got out. He got outperformed, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, you can't hate on Wilder. I mean, at least I see a lot of fans hating, but I have no hate. I mean, they gave us probably one of the best heavyweight fights in the last 10 years. To me, 20,
Dead game.
15 years.
Dead game. Did you see anything fishy in this fight? Because I think you saw something fishy in the second
The
fight.
only thing, let me tell you, the only thing I seen fishy was, I think Wilder got in his own head. I think the glove situation got in his own head. He went to gloves that he hadn't used in years to try and counteract what Fury gloves were. He should have probably stuck to his own gloves, but still, I don't think whatever gloves he would have had on, I don't think the outcome would have been any different.
Well,
maybe he would have had
you know
more
why he
protection
switched
and
to
not
those
damaged
gloves?
his
I mean,
hands.
stopped using those. Do you know why he stopped using those gloves in the first place?
Why?
Because they're punch gloves, and that's what he kept hurting his hands in. That's why he went to the foam ones, had custom made ones made for him to protect his hands. So you're right. I don't think it was a smart move to do that.
And Dead Game never remember when all that excuse about the glove gate. I've talked to Dead Game. He never bought into that stuff. From what I remember.
All right.
And
I never
Dead Game,
bought into
some
it.
people are
I'm
hating
just,
because he acted like a sore loser.
All right, Dead game. One last comment, and then we
No,
move on. Yep.
No, I just want to say salute to Bomb Squad Nation. Salute to all the Gypsy King fans, bro. We just was treated, bro. It was a treat. And let's see, man. Let's see Fury and Usyk, bro. I want to see it for Wilder, bro. I want to see him, fight some other guys, and possibly in the next 2-3 years, before he turns 40 or something, get another title shot within that time. If not, he did his thing for us as boxing fans, and we enjoyed his career. So I would like to see him try and catch another title later on, but I just enjoyed it, man.
Let me ask you something. What did you think of how Wilder handled himself at the end, refusing to shake his hand and actually saying, "No, I'm not doing the respect thing"?
I don't have a problem with that. The emotions was high. He just lost. You know, you know, you're in a place where you know it takes a certain amount a level of sportsmanship to take a beating like that after all the trash talk, after the years of trash talk. They was getting into it right before the fight. I don't see anything wrong with what he did. He just, you know, his mindset was like, you know, I'm done with it. I'm out of here. You know, a lot of fighters do it, and I didn't like it when Cotto would do it. You know, I'm bomb squad. Maybe I'm a little biased. I don't see a big problem with it. But it would have showed a lot of sportsmanship to stand in there and applaud and raise Fury's hand and, you know, bow down to the better man, you know. But in that situation, emotions was running high. You know, he could barely even walk out of the ring. He was stumbling. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't make too much of it, you know. You just in a situation where you just got beat up by the better man. And you just got out of there. It is what it is.
All right. Well, thank you for calling Dead Game, being humble.
Peace.
Call back again. Take care.
Shit. Ayo, I got something I got to say real quick. Little
yes.
one. I'm in the group chat with my friends. They're all talking about the fight. One of my boys, I can't believe he said it. He said, yeah, you know, Big Baby Miller takes them all out, though.
Who's that? Oh, yeah, that guy.
The new guy. the new Jared Miller.
Yeah, the new one.
No, Big Baby Miller.
When he said he takes them all out, is he talking about heavyweight opponents or buffets?
All right, guys. Let's take another phone call.
He won 3 years. It's crazy. 3 whole years has been since he had the PED scandal.
Guys, yeah, I know. 612, you're on the air. 612.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just make a few points. So what we saw yesterday was basically a 70% Fury fighting a 90% Wilder. And even then, Fury was able to take out Wilder. So hats off to Fury. Whatever, how much we criticize him. Second point is this fight was basically, after the sixth round, it was basically Kaunaki versus Hellenius 2. That was the fight. Fury was just tagging him with all shots on his face, and Wilder just didn't block any of them. Second point I would like to make is the Fury that showed up for the second Wilder fight now I can say is the most dangerous Fury. I think that Fury even beats Alexander Usyk. The Fury that fought yesterday, I think Usyk beats yesterday's Fury. But if Fury comes in with that determination, and I think one thing I realize is when Fury comes serious for a fight, he's usually shaved. He's shaved. He doesn't have a beard. So that's one
good point.
observation I made. Like yeah. And the third one is today I just saw, I don't know if you guys saw Twitter, they showed Mark Breland doing some shadow boxing after the fight. And I was just wondering, and I wanted to know your opinion, that Wilder had the potential to become the heavyweight Tommy Hearns under Mark Breland if he would have just followed Mark Breland and taken the sport seriously. And but with that limited ability, he won a bronze medal. Even I'm shocked till day how he did that, because on the back foot, I mean, his footwork was so terrible. And I just saw Mark Breland do that shadow boxing, moving around the ring. Even at this age, he was so fluid and beautiful. I mean, many of the current boxers can't do it. So, Wilder had great potential, but he just messed up his thing, falling in love with his power.
Exactly. He's not getting any younger. All right. Take care, man.
Yeah,
good call.
That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right. Let's get through the phone lines, guys. We're almost done. 484. You're on the air. 484.
Yo.
What's up? What's on your mind?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up? I think Tyson Fury beats Usyk. I think Tyson Fury is the best thing for boxing for a long time. Like, it's like Evander Holyfield was great, right? But he's not going to beat Lennox Lewis. He's not going to beat Vitaly Klitschko. Like, it's just the size. I mean, how can Usyk beat these top heavyweights? Like, he probably could pick up a few easy heavyweights like Joshua, but I mean, Tyson Fury right now is the top dog, and he's easily going to beat Usyk. He's going to be undisputed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
do you think Fury's exciting?
I don't know.
Caller, do you think Tyson Fury is exciting? Do you think if he ever fights Usyk, that would be an exciting fight?
He's going to lay on his ass, tire him out.
That's fine.
I mean, how can Usyk outbox Tyson Fury? Like, he can't outbox him.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. If
fucking...
Fury comes in fat and slow like yesterday, maybe Usyk has a chance, man. I'm not even kidding.
You're going to see
it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter how fat and slow he was. He still has the footwork to catch up to him and lay on him and hug him.
I don't think he showed any foot. Did you see any footwork yesterday? Maybe I missed it.
No.
I gotta rewatch the fight.
No.
I gotta rewatch the fight.
He used subtle
footwork.
But you know he has footwork though.
Yeah, he has.
Maybe
he
we
has.
didn't see
He
great
used
footwork last
Fury
night.
yesterday.
Caller, guys, if Tyson Fury weighs in at 270 plus, then I don't think he has any footwork.
Agreed.
Well, if he does that, do you think he will do that?
No, I think he would lose weight if he's smart.
Do you think?
No, he would lose weight.
Yeah, he's gonna work on his conditioning, and it doesn't matter what weight class he comes in. He's just gonna work on his stamina to be able to go 12 rounds. But at the end of the day, like, it's just a tall order, bro.
All right. Well, caller, good call. Call back again next time. All right.
Call.
Take care.
All right.
Take care.
All right. I want to thank Tony Boswell for becoming a BDA loyal member. Thank you for joining the BDA family. I think there should be an alert. Fuck, what? I gotta fix the alert.
Yeah. Like that. Something like an alert like that.
No, it's like the... Let me try the member alert.
You should have, shut the fuck up, you prick. Every time somebody joins.
Shut the fuck up.
Ah, shit. The alerts are not working. What the fuck? I'm gonna fix the alerts. Shit. Because I like when somebody becomes a member, there's like the HBO boxing song. Remember that? The theme song from the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
That's the best.
Mucho, that avatar is so fucking cringy.
Yeah, I gotta remove that picture because I have the picture of that guy dancing there.
Was that Randy?
Oh, that's you, yeah.
That's Randy Savage.
Haymanites has that on his Twitter now. The same thing, same picture.
Tell you something,
like,
fuck.
Who's the other guy? Donnie Nietzsche?
Oh, that's such a satanic.
Hey, where's your old boxing heads? Where's your boy Haitian? Recognize?
He's lost. He knows I found out some things about him, so he's gonna lay low for a little bit. He's gonna lay low. It was a bad
his picture collection.
It was a bad Saturday night for him. Let's just put it that way.
Listen, bro.
Well, look, while we had a little moment of silence, I want to jump in on something here. And no disrespect to Dead Game, but I think that's a crock of crap. Oh, I'm not going to say anything about the fact that he showed absolutely no class and still act like a 16-year-old spoiled brat because he didn't get his way after he bitched and complained for 20 months and accused everybody and their grandmother of trying to cheat me because I'm black. But now, because I've been proven the fact that all that is wrong and he still acted the same way he did before, I don't have a problem with that. BS. You're a man. Grow up. Quit being everything that's what's wrong with this country and this world. Sack up. Own yourself. Admit the fact that everything you said was wrong and shake a man's hand because he just kicked your ass. And you know guys that don't like to cuss. So, I mean, if that's the way
that's the exact reason why he didn't, though, brother. Because I think the realization at that time hit him. Like, oh, my God. You know what I mean? Like, he might have convinced himself that he was really cheated. Now he had to realize he wasn't.
Tyson was a big trash talker. And what did he do after Holyfield kicked his butt? He stopped and said, man, let me shake your hand because it's just been so long. I mean, Tyson was not the biggest gentleman at the regular time, but when he got his butt kicked,
as well as anybody, dude,
he stepped up and shook his hand.
Gotti and Ward beat each other next to death. You know that as well as anybody, bro. And I mean, they became best of friends after. So
right.
Pure boxers who look at it as what it is, they're athletes and they're putting it against each other. This is what they do. they earn respect for each other, what they can do.
But
You know
so
what I mean?
are you guys
The opposite.
shocked? Are you guys shocked?
No, not at
No,
all.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. But to someone say, and again, this is no disrespect to Dead Game, because there's other people out there that thinking the same thing. So he's just the one that said it on the air. So I've got no problem with him one-on-one. But the fact that people are going to be out there going, I don't have a problem with how he acted. You know what? Why not? Why not? Why are you going to sit there and give the man a pass after everything he did? Because if the shoe were on the other foot, you'd be saying that Tyson Fury has no class and that he's a punk and that he didn't own up to what he, it proved that he cheated. And that's what a majority of people would be doing. So if your fighter doesn't have any class, why don't you have some class for him and just say, you know what, I was disappointed in my man.
Look at how they tried to.
I think Dead Game did say that. I think Dead Game did say that.
Which is why I'm not trying to call him out. I'm not trying to call him directly out. He's just the one that said it on the air. So
Yeah,
that's what
he did say he would have appreciated him to be.
He said he would have appreciated it more if he did. And Dead Game never. Just to clear this up, Dead Game, as far as that I know of, in conversations that I have with him, he never talked about the glove scandal. He just.
No, you're
right. Fight it again.
You acknowledge that, and I've said a couple times during this little rant that I've been on is that I'm not trying to call it Dead Game himself. He's just the one that said it on the air. He was the one that delivered the message that other people are saying, and I find that to be BS. Men need to be held accountable for how they act, and no one should be giving this man a pass after everything he did over the past almost 2 years.
Yeah, Tyson Fury's words came from the heart when he said he prays to God that he softens Deontay Wilder's heart. That resonated. You could hear those words. It's like the truth. It cuts through the bone. Yep. People were happy he said that.
Yeah, that well said, Gonzo. But that's my 2 cents on that.
I mean,
that's my 2 cents on that.
You could see, like, just in Wilder's face, dude. Like, his whole shit was just falling apart. His whole image. This was the end of it. Like. It had been falling apart for a while, but he was trying to hang on. And last night was the night. And I was watching with a bunch of people, and they were all Wilder fans. And by the end of the night, they're saying, man, this dude can't fight. This dude sucks. Like
I'm not going to lie. When he dropped Fury, I jumped out of my fucking seat. I said, oh, shit. He fucking dropped him. And I'm like, he dropped him again, and he was a little weary. I was like, oh shit! I think Wilder might pull this shit off, And
he twisted his ankle too. He twisted his damn ankle, so that had me nervous.
Right before he landed, I literally yelled, "Oh my God, he's rushing in!" Because you could see that he was, you know what I mean? He was in. I mean, what's the rule? One of the sacred rules of boxing: a hurt man is at his most dangerous because he's just going to let it, And that's what he did. He just literally ran right into that right shot. And he even said it after, and he's like, I shook a hill. He goes, really was angry at me the way I walked in with my head up. He knows what he did. Fury knows it wasn't a great performance. It's just, again, how can the fighter say it wasn't a great performance, but then everybody else talking about it's the greatest fucking heavyweight fight of this generation?
They didn't grow up with what you and I grew up with, or what most of us on this panel grew up with. They look at highlights of Bo Holyfield and didn't watch all 3 fights. They didn't. I bet you they haven't even seen the second Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier fight. They've seen the first and the third. They haven't seen the second one. And
exactly.
But the point of
great heavyweight fights. There you go.
The point of not seeing the second one is the fact of a trilogy. When someone's saying, someone asked earlier, is this the most one-sided trilogy? Well, definitely in the heavyweight division there was. But as far as like skill, this was very exciting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disappointed in what I saw. I got my money's worth for action. But when you want to see top of the level, if this is the best there is, this didn't come close. Gotti and Ward showed more skill.
A lot of drama.
Yeah, Gotti and Ward, guys that are considered B+ or B- fighters, showed more skill than those 2 did last night, and they're considered A fighters of this era.
But we know that Tyson Fury does have skills, though. It's just, for me, it was okay because they put that aside. And, this was supposed to be the nail in the coffin. And they pretty much came in to fight. They didn't come in to box. And sometimes you do that. Can we understand that sometimes? That's what happens? Or am I wrong?
I'm not disagreeing with you, Gonzo, at all. I'm just... What we as the more unpaid experts on this panel are, that I like to consider us,
they don't pay you?
Wait. Hold.
Wait a minute, they don't pay you, dude?
Fucking Jimmy. We had the same
Chief, I didn't know that. All right, guys, don't say nothing.
Okay. All right. You guys all know that I've never been paid for anything I've ever done in boxing, so I'm not about to start now. So anyway, that being said, but like I said, we're not the guys that are sitting there on ESPN getting paid the hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we know our stuff and we know it very well. And I can tell they know it because I know mine, and you guys show me up every once in a while. So if you can show me up, you know your stuff. Having said that, we're not falling into the fact that it was definitely entertaining, but was it great? When I think great, I think of a war fought with skill.
Thriller in Manila.
Yeah, this was not that.
The drama was great. The fight itself was a little sloppy. It was, there was a lot of danger zone moments for both fighters, but that's what brought out the drama of the fight. I get it. Listen, man, I'm happy fight fans were excited about this fight because I think at certain levels, both guys lived up to their reputation. You know, Wilder said, "Look, I want to be stretched out. Don't fucking stop this fight." And Fury's like, "Okay, no problem. I'll do that to you." You know, so they both lived up to that. They both lived up to it. So you got to salute those guys for that.
I can take that.
All right, guys, we're gonna take more. We're gonna go back to the phone lines. All right, so 347. You're on the air. 347.
Yo, what's going on? I hope you guys having a blissful, propitious, prosperous, afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are on this side of the world, bro. But let me say this: I think it was a great fight. I was entertained. Wilder dropped him twice. Fury dropped him 3 times. It was a war. I think it was just a good fight. Wilder put it all on the line, and if you can't have respect for Wilder, I mean, listen, bro, because you wouldn't be able to last that long in the ring with Fury. Nobody in this chat.
Well, I'm not a boxer. I'm not a heavyweight boxer on top of that. Listen.
Would be able to.
First of all, are you going to eat your crow, Haitian?
Haitian, eat that fucking crow, man.
It sounds like he's eating crow. He's trying to catch us, crow.
Let me
You'll be coughing up black feathers right now, son. Not passing out judgment.
Hey, all of us are 40-year-old men that couldn't last a distance with professional athletes. How dare us?
Stop interrupting me, bro. Stop interrupting me. Listen, I hope, Wilder's okay, but shout out to Fury. He won. The better man won. And it was a great fight. I mean, I think Fury beats Usyk, but he needs to come in lighter, and he needs to. I don't think Fury was all really in his training camp right now, because we know he had the thing with his daughter and everything. I don't really think he was up for it. I think he didn't look that good, so he didn't look as good as the second fight. So I hope if he fights Usyk next or whatever, when he fights Usyk or if he fights Usyk, I hope he comes in better shape. But I think Wilder, he should retire because you're taking that much of a beating, bro. And listen, if he fights Ruiz or something, because he's on PBC with Ruiz, bro, he's gonna still take a beating for a couple of rounds if he knocks Ruiz out. So I just think Wilder needs to retire. I think he's taken too much damage. I hope he's doing okay. But shout out to Fury. God bless him. He's a man of God. And
Haitian, sorry, but there's a lot of questions in the chat. Haitian, there's a lot of questions for you in the chat. Did you cry?
Did I cry? Bruh,
you can say it, man.
This is not, personal, but why would I cry, bro? Like, everybody's life go on. People got personal stuff in their life. Why would I be crying about 2 men who's making millions of dollars, bro? Come on. That's
good for you.
If you did cry, if LGBT member cried, that's sad, bro. That's sad because who does that? Who would cry just because they're fighting?
You would cry, come on.
That's
oh fuck! What was his name? Low place.
But anyway, shout out to everybody. But it's Team Crawford, you know, November 20th.
Oh, that was Crawford, man.
Yeah, November 20th.
All
I've
right.
always been a Crawford fan. You
Yeah,
could ask
yeah.
anybody, bro. But Team Crawford, bro.
Team Porter. Team
So,
Porter.
hey,
Team
hey,
Porter.
who are you gonna pick
Come
so
on,
I don't
Porter.
pick that boxer? Which for the Porter against Spence? Who do you have? Because I don't want to pick the same guy as you.
It's got Crawford.
He has Crawford.
Crawford.
Oh, he's gone. All right, so I'll take the other guy. All right. That was funny. That was funny. All right, let's move on.
Shocked my boy Porter pulls out the upset. Don't be
Hold
shocked.
on. Precise. Send me a message. And Michael Poe, thank you for your contribution. He says, who wants Max Kellerman working for last night? Who was Max Kellerman working for last night? I don't know, man. Max Kellerman was somewhere? I don't know.
Is he working for anybody? They just let him go off of First Take or whatever that Screaming A Smith show was.
Well, he still works for ESPN, right? Doesn't he work? He has a role in the analyst, the boxing events that they have.
I guess.
Yeah, so I think he still has a role there.
All right,
Clarence Crawford is pound for pound the best, but don't be shocked if he loses.
All right, guys, we got more.
It's
It's
crazy.
terrible. That's terrible, man.
Terrible commentary.
Shit, I'm trying to send the link. We got a lot of phone calls, man. Okay, let's get through these phone calls. Let's do the phone. It's a call-in show.
Hey,
People.
remember last night we were talking about Ellie
Jimmy,
setback
I
and
on
his
the
shit?
phone lines. 214. You're on the air. 214.
What's up, guys? I picked Tyson to win. I thought it was going to be a unanimous decision because I didn't think he was all into the fight because having his daughter born, and he didn't look like he was in tremendous shape. But one of my main points is this: for a heavyweight fight, at first I was kind of excited when I first watched it, but when I rewatched it a little bit, I saw that these guys were really sloppy and they're kind of awkward, and even when they're knockdowns, their technique wasn't all that good. And when I said Tim Witherspoon, a former heavyweight champion, he was talking about it, and a lot of people were like, "Yeah, you know what? It wasn't really all that good boxing wise. Even when you're fighting, even fighting wise, their technique wasn't that good. They just looked super sloppy." And I'm like, and I still think it was a great fight because of the heart and the grit and the determination. But yeah, it's definitely not the greatest heavyweight fight in the last 10 years.
Nah.
And my second is I think Wilder should retire because for a lot of rounds he was super tired and Fury was just beating him up. I'm like, you know what?
Perfect.
I think that's enough for Wilder.
Yeah, good point. Anything else?
And I think that his fans are just going to have to come to the realization of this, because they really put internet boxing in this place where they were so confident that he was a cheater, that Tyson Fury was a cheater, and all this other stuff. I'm just so happy that this is over, so we can move past this.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent, man. Good point. Now we can move on.
The guy who won deserved to win.
Yeah. Caller, call back again next time, all right? Take care.
Good call.
All right, let's get through this. 617, you're on the air, 617.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to say, you guys can now, say whatever they want. Still, the race baiting channels out there, you guys still look weak for everything that you said. There's nothing, you can't come back from it. You look like a bunch of bitches. You guys need to grow some balls, man, and stop acting like children. And that's all I got to say, man.
Right. Anything else?
Boston 617.
No, these guys, they look like a bunch of bitches to me. That's it.
Yeah. Hopefully they calm down for a while before our next king arrives. There's always a king. There has to be a king. They have to follow somebody. They have to love somebody. They need that father figure that's missing. That has been missing for all this time. But anyways, caller, call back again next time. All right.
Fact.
Take care.
All right, man.
See ya. All right, another phone call, guys. 484. You're on the air. 484.
Yo, what up? Okay, I just called right back. Listen, Tyson Fury has gotten more attention from any other sport class than any other boxer has in a long time. Like you had, like I follow MMA, and Anthony Pettis, Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, Joe Rogan, everybody was talking about this fight last night. Everybody. And I just think he's the best thing for boxing. And when he fights fucking Usyk, it's going to be on Tyson Fury's terms. Like, if he wants to box with Usyk, he'll box with Usyk. And if he wants to just fuck him up and lay on him, he will lay on him. I think Tyson Fury is he's going to be undisputed. He's going to be our next undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, it's easy. I mean,
Tyson already said he's not fighting Usyk, though. He said he's going to duck Usyk. That's his words, not mine.
Well, that's yet to be seen. That's yet to be seen. Who knows? I mean, you're going to believe that motherfucker, but
he's volatile.
I mean, are you sure the title? Are you sure they're not going to fucking unify?
I agree with you. He has mood swings, right? He's not mentally all there. Sometimes he's happy. Sometimes he's very, very sad. So who knows? We can't really trust what he says. But so far, it seems to me, and even Jimmy mentioned that it looks like he's gonna retire pretty soon. But we'll see. Anything else, caller?
Yeah, Precise is a bitch.
All right.
That's it.
What a weirdo. And
where did that come from?
Somebody's angry.
Jesus Christ.
917.
Drive-by swearing.
917. You're on the air. 917. Yo, what's up?
Can y'all hear me?
Tough guy.
Yes,
guy.
Sir.
Yo,
guy.
Go ahead,
I
caller.
just want to firmly disagree. I want to firmly disagree that this is one of the greatest heavyweight fights that we've seen.
Okay.
And I'll explain.
Yes.
Given the context of the fact that this trilogy shouldn't even have happened because Tyson Fury already destroyed Wilder, just the nail in the coffin aspect of it made it great. I get it that it was sloppy. I get it. It wasn't the great technique versus this great technique. Fury was in there with an awkward fighter, so his plan was bully him, maul him, make it ugly, put him to sleep. And that was accomplished. And to watch that happen is greatness. If you wanted to see a pure technical spectacle, you could have watched Liam Smith versus Anthony Fowler main event, and that would have been fine. You would have got your technique, and you would have got your action, and you would have got everything. This was about shutting up a stupid cult that built up Wilder and then blamed Fury for cheating.
Excellent.
And all this other shit. So it should be ugly. It should be disgusting. This beatdown should be disgusting.
Absolutely.
And technique, we'll see it another day.
All right. Well, good point. Good call, man. All right. Call back again next time.
Yeah. I feel that was directed to me, and I won't argue with it.
Guys.
Man, a lot of people are taking this fight personally, man. It's a little pathetic, I have to say. It's become this, like, people are living vicariously through Fury, and then the other side is living vicariously through Wilder. I mean, a lot of small dick motherfuckers out there, man. Straight up.
Yeah, the fight wasn't that great.
Precise, would you?
But
I was
when
gonna
you
say,
have
Precise, would you claim that to be a all-time great fight?
Absolutely not. It was a classic, but I mean, it was a very, very good fight. We're just so starved for good fights, especially in the heavyweight division. I think people are going overboard. And another thing, why is everybody acting like Fury didn't struggle in this fight? Why is everybody acting like he didn't almost get stopped by a bum? I will never understand, man. Till the very end of that fight, Fury was deathly afraid of Deontay Wilder, which is why he was clinching up on him, why he was dirty boxing him, because we all noticed, we thought, right, he could have just used his jab and all he needed to do was take a step back, land the right hand or the jab and knock him out. For some reason, he didn't want to do that. Why? Because he was dead tired himself.
Tired.
And he was scared of getting knocked the fuck out. Simple.
Well, I don't know if he was that scared of getting knocked out, because at some point he was the one. I mean, he was opening up himself, but that's when he noticed that Wilder was completely dead tired. So yeah, his game plan was
they're not mutually exclusive because he was so dead tired. He knew it wouldn't take much to put him away.
Well, he
when you
like
suck in the air like
Precise
that.
is
Wilder was hurting him. Like Wilder, I forget if it was the 10th round or whatever. Wilder hurt him a lot in this fight. It's just that when you hurt Wilder, because even when Wilder is healthy and strong, he's sloppy anyway. So when you hurt him, it looks that much worse for him. Fury, on the other hand, has got better balance and he's better on his feet. When he's hurt, it's not that easy to see, but he was hurt a lot in this fight.
Yeah, it was in the 10th round Precise. When he got dropped, when Wilder got dropped, he got up and he was aggressive. He hurt Fury back.
He was fighting back. He was dead, so he just went for it and he hurt Fury.
Well,
yeah,
exactly. I mean, look at his trainer. He was screaming in the corner from the 7th round on. What the fuck are you doing? A good jab will put this dude away right now.
Yeah,
Why are you fucking around?
He
kept yelling at him.
Fury was smothering his work. It was in that right hand again. I hate that. He's like a looping right hand. Like it looks terrible, man. You know what? I think Anthony Joshua would have gotten fucking Wilder out of there. So people are saying, "Oh, Wilder is the second best heavyweight." Based on what? Like I think Joshua would beat fucking Wilder. His punches are crisp, more straight.
Straight. Yeah, it's looping like he's throwing a baseball. It's not necessarily straight.
Wilder could see that. Wilder could
like that's his. Detroit thing. They like to hide that right behind a jab, but he almost throws it simultaneously.
And Jimmy,
it's a weird way he does it.
He's like telegraphing that right hand, that shitty right hand that Fury was throwing. Wilder could see that coming. He would just lean back and like the punch would lose most of its power because he wasn't connecting properly. But anyways, guys,
this whole narrative that like Fury just walks through Usyk because he struggled with Wilder. I'm not making no prediction. I think it's a very difficult fight to call. I think it's a competitive fight. But imagine if Usyk got knocked down by Chisora twice, almost knocked the fuck out, and lost a lot of rounds to Chisora, right? Where legitimately even got outboxed by him. What would people say then? Usyk like dominates a guy like Chisora and he struggled. Fury legitimately struggles with the bomb. And everyone's acting like it was the greatest shit since sliced bread, man. People need to wash their fucking eyes straight up.
I'm telling you, this fight was sloppy as fuck, guys. Come on. That's what I'm saying. Like now because knockdowns are very visual, very dramatic, and that's what because there was 4 knockdowns in the fight. All of a sudden, it's one of the greatest fights we've seen in a long time. Come on, remove the knockdowns.
Yes.
And remove the emotions. It was an emotional fight because everybody had a lot of, like Precise said, everybody was emotionally invested. So because of that, it was a roller coaster. But as far as skills, I wouldn't fucking show my kid that.
And I said
Wilder
remove the
got hurt
knockdown
at the end of the first round, and he truly never recovered. But Fury, because he was such in bad shape, he was smothering everything. It allowed him. He actually ran into Wilder's punches and eventually got dropped in the 4th round twice. That score, the last count was a little funny. I looked at it, but that's like referee's discretion, whatever, right? But he was in a lot of fucking trouble. And he was afraid of that, even though Wilder was dead already. Even when he dropped him in the 4th round, Wilder was pretty much deteriorating. All he had to do was not smother his work like he did in the second fight, and he probably gets him out earlier than that.
Yes.
Oh, without a doubt, recognized, 100%.
I think
Or
he
he
didn't
gets
want to take
knocked
any
out.
chances.
Or he gets knocked out. He could have gotten knocked out too. We just don't know,
maybe.
man. That's what he was thinking, in my opinion, which is why he was so hesitant to because we all saw it. We're like, it was so frustrating to watch him smother himself too. But what he was doing is smothering Wilder more so than himself because he knew he was better in and out of the clinch. So even though it was ugly and it did slow the action down, it still favored him over Wilder, right?
Overall, yep. Because 40 pounds, man. 40 pounds is 40 pounds, bro. That's a lot of fucking weight to beat,
well,
man.
especially when you put on almost 10 yourself, because who knows how much if you put on any weight overnight. He put on 7 or 8 since the last fight, and then of course they get to eat dinner, breakfast, and lunch the next day. That puts weight on you, so he could have been up to 10 pounds heavier than he was in the fight before, plus that extra 40 pounds he's carrying from Fury leaning on him. But as far as some of this smothering and mauling, it may not have been as proficient as it was in the second fight, but that's similar to what Fury did in the second fight to neutralize everything Wilder did.
Right.
I'm not arguing precise as far as like he was sloppy and he was out of shape because he was winded pretty quickly, and maybe he could have got knocked out because he didn't have the wind. But this is a very similar style to what he did in the second fight.
It is. No, absolutely. No, he knew this. Fury knew this. That's we're trying to repeat that. Well, if he worked in the second fight, it's probably gonna work in the third fight, and he did. But this time around, he looked way more tired, and he was just looked terrible. And by the way, I want to say, just clarify something. I said remove the knockdowns, and the fight's completely different. And some people are gonna say, well, you can't remove the knockdowns from a fight. That's what makes a fight exciting. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say here is that if you remove the knockdowns, all you have is a one-sided fucking fight. So that, in my opinion, that's not really exciting at all. Guys, just quick.
I thought Wilder won some rounds though, Bucho.
Yeah, round one, and what else? I don't remember. I didn't score it. Like
I thought Wilder was dominating early until he got put down. I thought he was dominating. Like Fury had no answers for him. Did you guys pay attention to the punch count? Because it was the most ridiculous thing ever. Wilder, after he had landed like 18 shots in the first round, the punch count said 4.
I gotta check that out. I never really trust the CompuBox numbers or the other ones like that. I don't even know.
And that fight was a trip. You know why? A 12-round fight usually takes 36 minutes plus a minute in between is what, 45 minutes, whatever. It went 11 rounds. And the fight seemed like it went over like an hour to me. Like it was like very slow. It went on forever, man. Did you guys get that feeling?
I got that. You're absolutely right. Maybe because of the pace of the fight was so slow that, some people say time is relative. And I guess it wasn't yesterday. All right, guys, 936. You're on the air, 936.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. People who keep saying this is the best heavyweight fight ever, this wasn't even better than the fight 2 weeks ago between Usyk and Joshua.
Yep.
And I don't think
Thank you.
the Tyson Fury that won last night could beat the Anthony Joshua that lost 2 weeks ago, much less Usyk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if he loses 20 pounds, I still think Usyk's pace gasses him. And the people who are suggesting that Tyson Fury can just lay on him, Usyk's footwork's not going to let that happen unless you catch him in a corner, which is unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
I think
exactly.
If Tyson Fury makes the fight, and I believe Shelley Finkel said that if Wilder won before the fight, they weren't looking at Usyk.
No,
which means they're not. Like you could suggest that we have a mandatory we have to take care of, and he has to fight Joshua again, and all that would be true. But there was no way they were putting Deontay Wilder in the ring with Usyk ever. And I mean,
nope, I agree.
Well,
Tyson Fury was a cherry pick gone bad. Like that was never supposed to go to a trilogy. That was supposed to be Deontay Wilder knocks this guy out, becomes the lineal champion, and then in the pissing contest that we're having with AJ, maybe we get the upper hand. Maybe
it was a bargaining chip. He was only looking at it as more bargaining chip for Joshua.
All right. Anything else, caller?
No, thank you. You guys are doing a great job.
All right. Thanks for calling. Good call.
Thank you.
All right,
good
guys.
call.
Guys, one more. Oh, there's more calls. Shit. All right. Let's take another phone call. 520. You're on the air. 520.
What?
Go ahead.
No, what's up, guys? Right on this fight.
Yo, we can barely hear you, man.
You gotta speak up into your mic, bro.
Yeah.
What I thought of this fight, it was a pretty crazy fight. I felt, honestly, I was 50-50 on this. Before the fight started, I was really 50-50 because I saw the mitt work. I heard the sparring stories that Wilder was having, breaking ribs, knocking down guys. But I was very surprised. As soon as Wilder threw that first jab to the body, I knew that, like, I already kind of had a little more confidence for Fury. Just because the way he threw it to the body, hand out, just not protecting his chin at all. Like, not very good technique. I knew Fury had that right there. But what I am surprised about was the rest count. In the second knockdown that Wilder got, it was pretty insane. It was kind of long I think Fury barely beat it, or probably like the ref probably gifted him a little bit, but it was just a crazy fight.
Now, Carla, what do you mean by long? Like, you mean the pause he took between?
Yeah, because when he got to like 5, he like instructed Wilder to go to the corner, and then he resumed at 6 like a second later.
Well,
like
Carla,
2
that's
seconds later, which
part
is
of
crazy.
boxing. When you do not obey the rules, you pay for that. You know what I'm saying? That's the ref can stop
that
his
is
count
true. That is
to
a good
tell you
point. That
get
is a
into
good
a neutral corner, and he doesn't have to go and look to the apron to pick up the count from the timekeeper. He can just go right back to his count under his own discretion because you're not obeying the rules. So Wilder brought that long count upon himself.
Yeah, that is true. It's just I saw that excuse on a Facebook page. I mean, I saw a bunch of excuses of that on a Facebook page, but I always keep saying, it's the ref's count.
Breaking up.
Wilder fans are making excuses? Really?
No.
Unimaginable.
Hey, caller, you're kind of breaking up. So we're gonna move on because you're kind of breaking up. But call back again next time. All right.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, guys, one more phone call. 484. You're on the air. 484.
Hey, yo, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, guys. I'm back. I'm the dude that said that Precise is a bitch. But anyway.
Okay, what do you want to say now, man?
Like, listen. I mean, come on, man. Like, okay, Usyk beat Joshua, but you guys are the ones that were saying that Joshua was shit. He got knocked out by Andy Ruiz, and like he was ready to be taken. He was ready to be taken out. So Usyk came.
Who on here said Joshua was shit?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Well, there's a lot of people.
Let the caller finish, but that sounds like what kind of what Precise was saying. No disrespect, Precise.
Okay.
Well, Precise is not the whole.
All right, guys, finish your point quickly,
Joshua
and then we
was ready to be
caller,
taken out.
finish your point quickly because we got a lot of. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so Joshua was ready to be taken out, and what did Joshua do? He tried to fucking box. He tried to outbox Usyk. I mean, I like Usyk. I'm not saying Usyk is trash, but he tried to outbox Usyk. What the fuck was that?
Who did you pick in that fight?
And then
Joshua by knockout, uppercut, or the right hand? Which one was it exactly?
honestly, I picked.
As soon as you said honestly, I think you're setting up a lie. Go ahead.
No, dishonestly.
Listen. I picked Joshua because I thought Joshua was gonna use his weight and use his height and all the advantages that he had, but he gave up all his advantages and tried to box a superior boxer. Now, if you take Usyk versus fucking Fury, Fury's not going to do that. He's not going to give up his fucking advantages. He could outbox Usyk, or if he wanted to, he could just smother him and beat the fuck out of him. That's all I'm saying.
Here we go, another emotional prediction.
He tried
seriously through these fighters.
I'm not being emotional. I'm not being emotional. I'm looking at this.
Usyk,
I'm looking at this right
wouldn't
now.
let him.
Like,
All right, so you got the prediction wrong.
I think Fury. Yeah, right now I'll call it Anthony or fucking Tyson Fury would stop Usyk.
All right.
Any way he
well,
wants
you got
to.
one
He could either
prediction
outbox
wrong.
him and stop him,
Right hand or the
or he
uppercut?
could fuck him up and stop him.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if
It would probably be an overhand right. It would probably be an overhand right after he's laying on his ass because he's going to go at him.
All
And
right.
he's got the
Well, all
footwork to
right.
do
Listen,
it.
caller. Think about this. Think about what you're saying because you got the other prediction wrong.
Go ahead.
We don't want you to have
Go
this prediction wrong. So make sure that you think.
Dude, I don't
about
give
this
a fuck about
prediction.
giving a prediction wrong.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
What
anyways,
does that
caller,
matter?
we gotta move on. Call back again. All right. Take care. All right. That's it.
We're way ahead of ourselves on Usyk Fury already because there's some fights that have to be taken care of beforehand.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't even think it's.
I
gonna
don't think
happen.
we're confident on who's going to win those fights, but at the same time, those fights still have to be done before we even get there. So
I'm not confident. I wasn't confident about this fight. I was very confident about Usyk AJ. I told you guys.
Yes, you were.
I told you that should have been a 3-1 for Usyk. He He should be a 3-1 favorite. I mean, he lost 3 rounds, so whatever.
If that.
But the thing that gets me with these predictions is like, oh, AJ just has to do this. Fury just has to do this. Like the other guy's just gonna stand there, like the caller was saying. Like the other guy's just gonna let them do whatever they want to do. Well, yeah, AJ could knock out Usyk, but Usyk could knock out AJ, right? The big point going into that fight was, well, can Usyk hurt AJ? Of course he can. And he did, you know what I mean? So it's like, can Usyk hurt Fury? You better believe it. If Wilder can hit Fury, and I know Wilder's a big puncher, right? But he never hit him bang on the chin with the same kind of punches he puts people to sleep. That never happened. In their 3 fights, he was never able to do that. And if he did, he probably would have slept him too.
I don't know. I have to rewatch the knockdown though. The knockdown that happened in the first.
That was on the forehead, Bucho. That was on the forehead. He landed it on the forehead.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, but I need a different angle.
At least that's what I thought. But I mean, like Fury's chin is good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. It's better than AJ's, but it's not anything special. It is not special.
Yeah, you rarely see somebody hit Fury flush, huh? Like, Wallin never did shit.
Cunningham did. Cunningham did.
Yeah.
Cunningham
he fought some guy early on. Skelton I forget. Some British journeyman, and I think he got put down or hurt very, very badly too.
That happened too.
Yeah.
What Fury does well is he takes his time. He's composed. So he goes down, he stays relaxed, he takes the full 10 seconds or the full 9 seconds sometimes, and that allows him to clear his mind. That's pretty smart from him.
Hey guys, I wanna just read a super chat quickly. Rafael Garza says Fury had to beat the crap out of Wilder's adrenaline. Fury miscalculated and got dropped. Fury went back to the drawing board and finished him later. Yeah, I mean Wilder had adrenaline or something else, but he was taking a beating. Yeah.
But this whole idea that like Fury was in bad shape, I mean, none of us know what happened in camp. What we do know is what we saw on the night. He wasn't fighting the same kind of wide-eyed, scared, Bambi-legged, not knowing what to do, poop in the bed Wilder. No. He fought a completely different Wilder who came in there to take his head off with, 10 extra pounds on him. That's why Fury was looking gassed. Could it be something in training camp? None of us know.
Well,
what we do know
because in the second fight, Fury was.
But he can say whatever he wants. Like, hold on. Fury can say whatever he wants to say. We know he's full of shit. Okay, what he had in there was a much tougher Wilder than. Can we agree on that? That's obvious.
Yes,
that's first and foremost. Right?
And this, I want to say this. Hold on, Fury, like he the second fight, he was cruising it. There was no opposition. So this guy could like control the pace, take a little break when he wanted. In this fight, he couldn't, and that's what I always said. Like when he weighed in at 270 in the second fight, I was like, "Is this a good idea?" Because I don't care who the fuck you are, you're not going 12 rounds weighing in 270. All right, I don't care if you're 6'9" or whatever. 270 is too much. And in this fight, you started to see the negative effects of weighing that much. Because
one thing that did happen for sure, Bucho, and this is why I think it's okay how the fight ended. He finally put the nail in the coffin, and there was no freaking controversy over the knockout. He put him out on his ass. No referee stepping in or nothing, right?
Yeah, but this is guys. This ending could have been the same in the second fight if the referee wouldn't have stopped it, or Mark Brilliant wouldn't have thrown in the towel. He would have probably ended in the 11th.
They could have gone under the 11th round of a beating also.
Yeah.
You're right.
The logic was nobody knows for sure, right? But like if you're just looking at the fight, you're like, well, I mean, how much can a man take before he lays out? And basically, so you see what happens, right? So when the referee is not doing his job and the corner is not doing his job, right? He's like basically following what Wilder said. Don't stop this fucking fight. I can almost end it with one punch. Which is almost true. It was almost true, but then you see the end effects of that. You end up laying flat on your face when you kind of have that motto. Don't stop the fight, no matter what. It's not over until it's over. Well, then you end up like that. That's what happens. Give Wilder credit. There's a lot of dudes that claim they would do that, but he actually said it, and turned out true.
Taking a couple of took some time off his career if he decided to keep fighting that extra beating.
There are some dudes that say that shit. It sounds good. It sounds good, but they wouldn't do that shit. You know, there are some dudes that would be like, "No, I'm done. I'm quitting."
Oh yeah,
hey
guys, Sanders. Remember? Oh, I wouldn't quit if both my ass was broken. And then he quits. But you know, when Fury, when he's really on it, like if you look at that second fight, he was in better condition. He had more, like, he was just more focused. He claims probably because of his daughter. I mean, again, human. We all have outside, you know, they're no different. But he's rubbing his nose, spitting all the time. Rubbing his nose, just those little twitch things he's doing. Remember his hands up and down, rubbing his nose every 2 seconds and spitting. He didn't even have the energy he wasn't even doing that last night. And Sugar Hill said that's when he said all the little twitches, the things he does when he's in great shape, he wasn't doing after the, you know, second, third round. So he goes, that's when I knew he was really sucking air.
And still, Fury couldn't get him out of there.
Maybe
and
it was training, but maybe Precise
has
a point on the fact that since Wilder wasn't putting up as much resistance in the second fight, and he was in this fight, the exertion he had to put out there is what made him gas out a little bit earlier. I was just looking at his weights and going all the way back to the Klitschko fight. He was 260 before the Klitschko fight, 247, 256 in a row. I'm spitballing some of these. Goes back up to 260, goes back down to around the 250s, then goes up to 270s in the last 2 fights. This kind of weight fluctuation isn't good for anybody. And we don't know how much weight he puts on in between fights, to where if his camps are mostly conditioning and not as much training. Look what happened to Andy Ruiz. He lost, 30 pounds, and look how his energy level just sapped because his body didn't have that fat reserve that it's used to having. He burned a lot of it. And then what was it? He gets tired. Why? Because the body's looking for energy because it's used to carrying this much fat, this much weight, and everything else. And even though it may have made him faster for a little bit, stamina-wise, it didn't help him down the stretch. And so Fury actually goes down after being 270 for almost 2 straight years, down to like maybe 256. He may not have those reserves later also because he could gas out because his body's looking for those energy sources that it doesn't have anymore.
Yeah. Could be.
He goes up to almost 400 pounds. In the last 10 years, he's hit almost 400 twice.
And why are we just off the bat assuming that Fury gives a shit about his kids? Like, why is that? No, I'm not trying to be funny. Look, hold on. I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but everyone's just assuming that Fury's like this great father or something. Like, how do we know this? We don't. So maybe not.
Well, his actions say it's different, though. His actions say he doesn't, because if somebody really cares about their kids, they're not out snorting fucking 8 balls and getting fucking all these chicks like he admitted he was doing.
Yeah, guys, don't
come on, man. The guy's a degenerate. I don't buy anything he says. I just look at what happens in the ring, and he was on the same weight he was in the second fight with Wilder. He weighed about exactly the same, and what was different was Wilder. And one thing I think we all agree on is what killed Wilder in the second fight, and what killed his stamina also were all the feints. So what did Wilder do?
Exactly.
Wilder came into the third fight feigning Fury. Now, he's never going to win that game, but simply because he added that little bit of a wrinkle to his own game, that gave Fury something to think about. Wilder was feinting him too. It's not as advanced, but it's different.
I think he's over. Fury's a little bit overrated. Let's just be honest, man.
Of course he's overrated, man. Yeah, of course he is.
Guys, a bunch of things. First, Vlad DV, thank you for your contribution. He says Fury versus Wilder 3 was the first 2 fights rolled combined into one. Yeah, that's what usually happens in the third fight of a trilogy. It's like a combination of that second and the first fight. Amok PvP, thank you for your contribution. He says we had a trilogy based on a supposedly rivalry, but Wilder never won a fight. That's true. All because of the bad judges in the first fight. Yeah, and also because it was a contractual thing that they had. But we had the third fight. Also, Rapak's Trucking Company, I think he became no, he didn't do anything, sorry. But he's saying, but back then Fury was on the Colombian diet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say these people that are always talking. These people that are always talking about their family and how much they love their kids. I think sometimes I don't know, but they're maybe trying to convince themselves instead of convincing you. You know what I mean? Like, because they're always mentioning the family and the kids and like, all right.
When I hear people say that, you know, I it's like they're public people, they're public like stars or whatever. I don't care whether they do or don't. Yeah. That's their business.
Well, dude, if you love your kids. Real quick. If you love your kids, you will never even contemplate suicide, man. It'll never happen.
Exactly.
Good point.
Good point. Now, I was just
But
about to
anyways,
make that exact point when he talked about committing suicide. And on top of that, listen, another thing struck me odd, right? I mean, isn't a long camp 12 weeks an average 8, right? 2 months. He said something very telling. He said, I've only been home 2 weeks in the last 6 months. I'm like, what? That don't make fucking sense. So where the fuck you been? You weren't training for 6 months. So what, you know what I mean? To precise his point, how much does he really care? He was jet setting around, you know?
He still treats his wife as like his girlfriend, and she's probably, let's be honest, she's probably turned on by that.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not that hard to figure out.
Brings little honeys home.
Yeah.
Of course, he does what he wants. You know this.
Yeah, he does what he wants.
I read
well, in
this
the
comment.
gypsy culture, not to like talk about shit I don't know, but it's very machizo and very, you know, what do they say, patriarchal. Men say like, you know, women do the laundry, they do the cleaning. That's a part of that whole gypsy travelers culture, and they're proud of it. So it's not like I'm demeaning in them.
Hey
There's
guys,
nothing wrong with that either. But
I have a tweet that I read that I think it's interesting. It was by Mighty Max Boxing. It says Malik Scott took years off of Deontay Wilder's life. I hope he's happy.
Nah.
Because he let the fight go so long, though.
Wilder wanted that, man.
Yeah.
So he hired you, right? He's gonna pay you. Then you follow his orders.
Yeah, when that whole thing with Mark Breland happened, I agreed with both men. I agree with Wilder, what he did. Firing Mark Breland was the right thing to do. I agree with what he did. But I also agree with Breland. They were just not made for each other. They didn't see eye to eye. They needed to separate. Breland did the right thing. Wilder did the right thing too, period. It's really that simple.
Yeah, when you really look at it, right? So one guy, he's willing to get knocked out or hurt really bad, right? And that's the game of boxing. And the other one is like, look, I'm here to look out for your best interests. You know, I'm here to make sure, or what I think is your best interest, right? Maybe not.
Yeah, but Wilder doesn't want that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wilder doesn't want that.
They're a bad match.
It doesn't work out. Two different philosophies. Yeah.
You know where they killed Glovegate on this one, and I thought it was pretty cool from Tyson Fury to wear the same papping gloves. The same papping crinkled up gloves are the ones they cut up in 6 places, and they compared it. They saw on the inside. So basically, what Fury did, he didn't pay no mind to whatever was said on the second fight all these months, and showed up with the same gloves, and that was proof false.
Do you guys remember how Fury bitched and moaned and complained that Klitschko made him wear those weird German Paffen gloves? How he doesn't like these gloves, and now they're his favorite. You guys remember that? He made a whole ado about the Paffen gloves in the Klitschko fight, and he's been wearing almost exclusively, I think, those gloves ever since. Just saying.
Yeah, if I may say that. Hello, guys. Tyson Fury,
what's up,
without shenanigans. I was telling Butcher that I said, look, it's smart in a way to create all this chaos before a fight, but at the same time, if you need to create all this chaos, it does mean you're not confident that you can beat this guy straight up without doing all this psychological warfare. I mean, I know it's part of the game, but it's just an interesting question to ask. Also, in regards to Wilder getting the crap kicked out of him for 6-7 rounds, and Malik Scott not stopping it, I got no problem with that. The guy wants to get the shit kicked out. I mean, this is what these guys do. They stand the dotted line and they want to do what they want to do. Margarito, remember, he told Robert Garcia, don't stop the fight. And Robert was like, right. You know, they're both from that Mexican culture. Like, fuck, you want to get the shit kicked out of you and go 12 rounds. And they hold that as a form of esteem. You know, it's like an accomplishment. Like, remember Wayne McCullough had never been stopped. He'd been in there with Morales, with Ahmed. And then when he fought Larios the second time, it was one of those slow type beatings where a guy could really get hurt and they stopped the fight. He was crying.
Yeah.
Like, it was a genuine crying. It wasn't like fake crying. So this is what these guys want to do. This is what we pay to what? Let him do it, man. He wants to get the crap kicked out of him.
Well, that's a part of the Mexican fight culture. It always has been. Hubris. Well, like, you know what? You're not going to take me out. I won't quit.
It's that alpha male, shit. That's all that is, right?
He's a king.
He just, he's like, damn, I'm not. Don't stop the fight for me, And again, it must be hard, like, to do that with family members, right? Like, if Wilder had a brother that was training him and had more sense, he probably would tell Wilder, nah, I can't sign up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but credit to him, though. Credit to him, like you were saying, recognize I agree, because how many times do these fighters quit nowadays, and we say,
Yeah.
"Oh, he should have gone the distance."
Look, Gonzalo, he's getting beat up by a guy who has 40 pounds over him, beating the shit out of him, and he's like dead. He's dead. He's still dangerous.
Almost 300 pounds.
I gotta be honest, guys. I want to be honest. I didn't want the referee to stop this fight, even though he should have. Usually, I'm like in the second fight, I was thinking, the referee needs to stop this fight. But in this time around, I didn't want him to stop the fight because I knew that there were gonna be excuses, right? Like, oh, the referee.
Look, we love boxing. We love boxing. How cringe was it when you saw him with his mouth open? And let's say you knew Wilder. How cringy was that? He's like,
Just the way he was walking. He was walking like a zombie, trying to get back to his corner, man. He was just sucking air. Like it was, he couldn't, barely breathe, but that's what he wanted. He wanted to go out on his shield. It was weird. The ref didn't even wait for him to hit the ground. He waved that shit off. Well, he was still coming through to the ground.
The thing that I found odd was the scores. 94-91, 95-92, 95-91. That's basically saying it was like 7 rounds to 5 most of the way across. I don't know what fight anybody was watching outside of a knockdown.
Well, they only scored 10 rounds, right? So that's after 10 rounds.
They added 105, 101. Fury, one other judge had it even, and then the other judge had Wilder.
It wasn't a judge
that
that had it even. Recognize. What you said yesterday.
I wasn't scoring the fight, man, but to me, it felt very close. A lot of the stuff that Fury was doing on the inside, that wasn't legal. He was slapping, he was hitting to the back. Like none of those was scoring blows. The shit he was doing on the inside. That's what I thought, anyway.
Well, just by looking at Wilder, the way he was reacting, how tired he was, I have Fury up big, man.
I mean, because at some point you gotta
4 rounds. First 4 rounds, you could say. If you want, you could give 3 out of the 4 rounds to Wilder. I gave him only 2, but I think from 5 and on, man, Wilder was done. I stopped really scoring it. I didn't really score the fight. I was like, damn, who's gonna get knocked out?
Hey guys, remember Scripting College?
Yes.
Okay, now he's in the chat with another name called Scripting Logic. Okay. And now he's saying Fury's elbow hit the canvas at 17 seconds of round 4. Fury went down at 6 seconds. That means Fury went down for 11 seconds. Fury lost also by 2 seconds. Only what?
Yeah, Butcher, can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Shout out to Ernie Wiles in from the video from last night. He commented. He said he counted the first knockdown, which was Wilder when he got dropped, and he got the time that went off as when he hit the canvas to when they resumed the fight was 19.64 seconds.
Something like that, yeah.
If we're going by Scripting Logic's lack of logic and that same train of thought, then Wilder got knocked out first. So thank you, Scripting, for pointing that out, man.
You know something? The 10th round. Go check out the 10th round when he drops Wilder. And again, it could have been Fury. Remember, I just watched this fight one time. So it could have been Fury was not in his neutral corner, and he kept looking at Fury, but that count seemed pretty extensive, like for Wilder.
Yeah, I haven't heard nowhere. Maybe I don't know, but a second in a count, it's not supposed to be the meter. It's not supposed to be.
It's not a 10-second count. It's a 10 count.
It's a 10 count.
The referee is okay. The general rule is he's supposed to count every second, but people, we're not clocks, we're not machines. It's a 10 count. You can't blame the referee if it's a little slow or if it's a little fast. Shit happens. You know what I mean? We're
insane,
imperfect.
right?
Yeah, they don't have a
clock.
clock.
People go on about that. It's humans. Sorry.
Can I just say, Scripting Logic, you leave it at that. You lost. You got the pick wrong again. Just move on, man. Just accept it. But this guy just
this guy used an atomic watch or something. I mean, get the fuck out of here, man.
Stick to programming and writing script, and leave the boxing to people that are realistic and actually know what they're watching. Because you're in another world, my friend.
Yeah, Bucho used the Canelo. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's coming in hot today. I like it.
Yeah, Gonzalo, I was going to say, if you, like, in terms of Wilder's, I do give Wilder credit for getting up, and willing to take the punishment. I actually there might be a sexual component to it, but wouldn't you, Gonzalo, when you were back in the army, wouldn't you like to have, if you saw that guy showing that type of heart in boot camp, wouldn't you say, you know what, I wouldn't mind being in the trenches with this guy?
Oh hell yeah. Actually, yeah. Look,
no.
What did he say about? What did Saunders say? When he said I would never get stopped, or that I wouldn't quit on the stool, and he quit on the stool? What were people saying? When Dubois took a knee, people were talking shit about him. So okay, Wilder, at least he got what he deserved, but what he wanted.
But you know what?
Man, he's got heart, but he's kind of an asshole, though.
Looking back to the fight,
To be fair, Dubois was taking a knee all through 2020, so.
It's true.
But Dubois is 10 times the man BJ Saunders is, and I'll tell you why. That's because he didn't put the blame on his team. He didn't, try to mask his own deficiencies by saying, "Oh, my team pulled me out." He took it upon himself. He took the responsibility in his own hands, and he said, "That's it. I'm not going to blame anybody else. This is this is me. It's my." He took all the responsibility. Billy Joe Saunders tried to salvage the fact that he quit like a bitch, but he had his team basically cover for him and say that they pulled him out. When all they did was take a look in his eyes, and they were like, "Yeah, this dude quit. We're pulling you out."
Yeah.
Big difference. Well, they whispered something to his ear, and he shook his head no. So that's probably like, do you want to keep going? Usually what they ask. And he was like, no.
Nobody dislikes Wilder because he can box. Okay, he was a champion. They don't like him. A lot of people don't like him because of his attitude. If he would have just been a little bit more gracious throughout this whole time and yesterday in the fight, even though he lost, he held up his own. But if he would have been more gracious, he would have a better life. You wouldn't have to have all this hanging on your head. You could go outside and you could be loved by the people. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, somebody tweeted at me that
we gotta take a phone call.
American fighters, nobody, everybody's there voting for a British guy. And it was a black dude on Twitter, and he's like, I wonder why that is. trying to insinuate that it was because he's black. People don't like him.
I'm sure there are some people that like Fury because he's white that are Americans, but like, why are you trying to get into people's heads? Who gives a fuck? Look, every fighter is an entertainer, public spotlight. They have responsibilities of the type of energy that they bring out, so it's up to them, man. If they're not liked or they're liked afterwards.
Well, it's how they use their charisma. And sorry, Jimmy, but I mean, Bob Arum has said this before. The fighter's got to help the promoter a little bit, promote the situation. And Tyson Fury does it by acting like an arrogant jackass. Pardon my French. He gets out there. He says stupid things. He stirs people up. He tries to aggravate people. He tries to please some people that like his arrogance. He tries to upset the people that don't like his arrogance. And he pokes at both of them to try and stir everything up. He's a promoter's dream because he's going to make enough, like Mayweather, and like Hopkins tried to do, but I don't think it was nearly as successful, of saying things that get people to want to watch to see whether he wants to win or lose. Doesn't matter. Just come in and watch. And like Recognize said, it's the fighter's responsibility to try and channel some of that energy to help make yourself successful aside of what you can do in the ring. And this is
like when Fury came in with that gay entrance, that very panic ritual, that was just disgusting in my opinion. Fury doesn't care if I like that or not. He's not here for me. He doesn't give a fuck about me. In fact, if he knew that bothered me, I'm sure that after the win, he'll look at me and stick his middle finger. He say, how's that?
I'd probably send a video of it to your house just so you'd have it forever.
No joke, guys. No lie. I threw up in my mouth a little bit when I said.
Oh, I did too.
That was disgusting. But you know what? I gotta go, guys. But I'll leave you with one last thought. You guys know how you could tell this is a weak ass heavyweight era right now? Because all the white guys are holding all the belts, man. Peace out, everybody.
Take it easy, man.
Hey guys, I need to guys, hold on. I need to read a super chat, and then we need to take one phone call. So Amok PvP, thank you for your contribution. He says scripting fallacy. Just hold your L. I counted the seconds in the first bout, and it was 9.5 seconds. Hold another L for that as well. All right. There you go.
Yeah, the guy doesn't understand. The guy doesn't understand that Wilder went down the first time in the night, and he got the long count too. He doesn't get. This guy's insane, man. I genuinely think he's out of his gosh darn mind because I've seen some of his videos on his channel, and he sounds like he's got asp. I'm not making fun of the guy, but I'm just saying if you can socialize with people, this is the worst place to do it, man.
Hi, BDA. You're wrong again. Another comment. Hi. Like, what is this? An email? Anyways, 254. You're on the air. 254.
Hello, Omer, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
I don't speak Spanish. This is the Gypsy.
Yeah, I know.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
It's been a long time, man.
I want to join. You're not paying attention to me.
What?
I feel like I'm the lone kid in the block and shit, just, in the corner and everything.
Oh, I
Just
see.
being ignored and everything.
I just saw your message.
Yeah, I cried a little bit. I just cried a little bit. Anyways, you guys are such trolls. Deep down in your heart, this fight was the shit. Like, it was the shit. I've seen all kinds of fights, man. This fight was the shit. In any split second, Fury would have been on his ass. I mean, yes, the third round when he dropped him, I was like, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, it's going to go like the second fight. It's going to go like the second fight. I picked Fury to finish in the 8th. But it happened in 11. I'm actually more happy it ended up in 11 than it did in 8. But the thing is, bro, he was still in danger the entire until the 9th round. After the 9th, even maybe if you let him recover, if you let Wilder recover to 10th, 11th, he would have still been in deep trouble. But until the 9th, he was still in danger. There was moments in time, bro, I was like, holy shit, he's about to drop. You could see in his legs, he was wobbling from the shots that Wilder was landing on him. They both got hurt in this fight. Obviously, Wilder got hurt even more than Fury. If I was Fury and Wilder, I would give a year of rest before they jump in the ring ever again. Because the shots that they were dropping, every single one was bombs. Like bombs. Yes. And that's why this is a classic. This is a classic
Well, can I ask you a question, brother?
Every shot
real
was
quick?
bombs.
But if you're saying all shots are bombs, Fury was known going into this trilogy as one of the lightest punching heavyweights. He had a
not to me, bro.
KO ratio.
For
I'm just saying,
don't know shit
is
about
it really
boxing?
that they're throwing bombs, or they faint easy? They don't have great chins.
Not always the case. But anyways, the thing is with Fury has a heavy hand. I saw that with the Chisora fight. When you see what he did to Chisora. Usyk did not do that to Chisora. Usyk, obviously, in my opinion, I think he was going easy on Chisora on the side, but Fury dismantled Chisora, dismantled him. He let him. He destroyed that man. That man will never look at Fury ever again the same way.
Yep, that's true.
But Chisora, on the other hand, could still look at Usyk like, maybe I have a shot. Maybe I can still do something to this guy. He'll still think like that. Not with Fury. He'll never look at it the same way. It just won't happen.
I didn't see that close. That fight as close as everybody else. It's weird.
What fight is that?
I didn't think
the Chisora Fury. I mean, the Chisora Usyk.
The rounds were pretty competitive, but in terms of
but like it seems like people say, like, I'm not saying this guy, but like a lot of people have acted like it could have went either way. It was very close.
No, it wasn't, bro. It wasn't. And the first fight, maybe you can say a little bit, but the second one, Fury was a different animal. It just and the thing with Fury is, like every second fight that this guy has, like they say that he never had rematches. Another bullshit. I don't know. This was like years back. He never had rematches. He has 3 rematches. AJ had this first rematch against Ruiz. He has 3 rematches, and all 3 rematches he completely eradicated his opponent. Like, completely fucked him up to the point where, like, Wilder, McDermott, and then who was the other guy? Chisora. All 3 of them can attest to that shit. So, you gotta give respect to this man, bro. Like, that's all I gotta say. I mean, not because I'm a fan, not because of those reasons. I'm a fan of Usyk. I'm a fan of Ruiz. I ain't a fan of AJ. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys with that shit. I am not a fan of AJ. Taking out 7 seconds off the last 12th round to take 7 seconds to get knocked the fuck out against Usyk. Come on, bro.
Hey,
he
Gypsy,
took 7 seconds out of that 12th round.
Gypsy, I sent. We're gonna move on. I sent you a link. I sent you a link if you want to join the Discord. All right, man. We got more phone calls, so join the Discord if you want. All right.
for sure, no problem.
I see you. All right, guys, let's take a few phone calls here. I think this guy already called. 484, you're on the air. 484.
Back.
Who's that?
Damn, how come I don't get a link? Look, okay, check it. Okay, Anthony Joshua went life and death with Vitaly Klitschko, right? He went life and death. He barely survived that shit. He won that shit. Okay, but before that, Tyson Fury schooled Vitaly Klitschko. Okay, then Anthony Joshua got fucking knocked out by Andy Ruiz. Then he fucking stayed away from a fat boy after that. He stayed away from a fat boy, which everybody was saying that was fucking... Nobody was giving props to Anthony Joshua for staying away from a fat boy. And now all of a sudden when Usyk beats him, now they're giving props to Usyk for beating Anthony Joshua, who stayed away from a fat boy.
Yeah,
But-
okay, hold on.
Fury
Hold on.
but-
Usyk was a former what champion?
Yeah, I know.
Do you?
And Tyson Fury beat him first. Yeah, Tyson Fury beat him first.
What are you talking about? He beat him first. I'm
Tyson
talking about
Fury beat
Usyk
him
was
first.
No.
Are you
Usyk.
talking about
No, I'm talking about
Vitaly
Usyk.
Klitschko?
Usyk was a cruiserweight champion. Like, you see, you're telling us that we're not giving Usyk. Sorry, are you saying that we shouldn't give Usyk credit for beating Joshua?
Well, you weren't giving Joshua credit for fucking beating Anthony Ruiz. You were saying that he was running away from him.
I didn't say that. Someone, like, listen, you gotta be
After he
specific.
got knocked out,
You gotta be
He got
specific.
knocked out by Anthony
Listen,
Ruiz,
Caller,
and
just
then
to
he
make
came back and he.
caller. We have a lot of people on this panel. You know, this is like we rotate around 10, 12 people here, so we don't always say the same.
90 seconds.
So you gotta be specific. Who said what? You know what I mean?
Okay. So let me say this. Okay, so fucking Anthony Joshua ran away from Andy Ruiz, and then he barely beat fucking what's that dude that kissed the chicks, Sushi.
Yeah.
And then fucking Usyk got a lot of credit for beating that dude.
60 seconds.
That fucking Tyson Fury beat like everybody that he beat.
All right, caller. This is
I
going
don't
pretty
understand
slow.
what he's saying. I don't understand what he's saying.
This is confusing. He said we're not
I
giving.
understand. I understand what he's saying. He's saying we didn't give. We criticized Joshua. He's saying for struggling against Ruiz the second time, or actually not struggling necessarily, but that he fought a shit fight. But then we gave Usyk credit for beating. But I mean, you gotta keep in mind, he couldn't, even if he wanted to do what he did against Usyk, which was to box him, he couldn't do it. It was Usyk did it all on skill.
Basically, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Okay, Tyson Fury beat Vitaly Klitschko when he had
Vladimir.
All right,
not
whatever.
Vitaly.
10 seconds.
Vitaly, whatever the fuck their names are, right? Okay, he beat him at his prime, and then fucking Joshua gets all this credit for beating him, barely surviving him, get knocked out by Andrew Ruiz, and then he beats fucking that dude that kisses the chick, and he loses to Usyk. So now Usyk gets a lot of credit for beating that guy.
We have to move on, but I get what you're saying. Look, Joshua was a guy that was on the border of being beat by somebody, but you gotta give Usyk a modicum of credit for beating him the way he did and taking him out, because fucking Pulev wasn't doing it. Ruiz didn't do it the second time. Old ass Klitschko couldn't do it. So I agree with you. We had a criticism of Joshua, but at the same time, we were saying that he was crap.
Joshua better than
but then he lost. Well, first of all, he got dropped. Andy Ruiz went down against AJ. All right, so that's sure, he beat him in the first fight, but then
it doesn't matter. He knocked him out.
And in the second fight, all right, he didn't do jack fucking shit. He was neutralized. He didn't do anything. So Usyk was moving up in weight as well. He's a cruiserweight.
I was listening to your show.
All right, let Bucho
All right,
finish.
call back again. We're gonna move on, man. This guy's just going on circles. 205.
I think it's one hit, by the way.
205 on the air. 205.
What's up, y'all? What's up, BDA?
Oh, what's up, man?
Uncle.
It's Uncle Charles.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead, man.
Let me just say this, y'all. Deontay Wilder is a stubborn fighter. Let me explain something to you, man. We watched Deontay this whole training camp, and the only thing I ever saw him do was pad work, body work, which he went to the body last night. But you never see Deontay Wilder run. Mayweather ran. He did body work. He hit on the heavy bag. You didn't see Deontay Wilder do anything because nobody tell Deontay Wilder nothing. Let me tell you something. You remind me of my brother girlfriend. Now, you know you 450 pounds and you still eating. Let me tell you something. You on a diet plan. What kind of diet plan is that? The one you eat for 30 days? Now you walk out the door. Now you got an ass in the front and the back. You won't stick to the diet plan just like Deontay won't stick to the plan he's supposed to do. Let me explain something to you. It makes no difference if he fight again. If he fight Ruiz or if he fight Dylan White, he's going to get knocked out again until he learn how to do combinations and know how to fight going backwards and know how to move. See, he can let Tyson Fury get up on him and then beat on him. You have to throw jabs at Tyson Fury and step around him and throw combinations. He did none of that. So now I say this. The way he did Mark Breland, what comes around, goes around. Because JD was in there when he got his hands wrapped the first time. Now, either he blind, crippled or crazy, or he ain't on it. But you kept JD. And try to make this out of race, let me explain it to you. And I'm going to end this call right now. You try to make this thing out of race. Now, the day I walk out my house, and I don't think about getting hurt by the police or by some fool. But I can't worry about that. I can't worry about that. I have to keep on moving on. And people are going to understand that nobody in this country, whether you black, green, red, or yellow, everybody don't experience discrimination. So you need to know what discrimination is and supremacy. You need to know this. It's two different things. You start learning and reading and watching, and your ass might know something. And that's all I got to say. I appreciate it, BDA.
Great call, man.
God bless you, brother. Good point.
Amazing.
Can I answer to the caller?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, the Wilder we saw yesterday would defeat everybody except Usyk. Everybody. Maybe Michael Hunter would give him some troubles, a little more troubles than I expect. But
what did you see from
Usyk
Wilder?
Is the only dude besides Fury.
Gypsy.
Everyone else gets fucked up.
What did you see from Wilder? What did you see from Wilder yesterday that impressed you?
What I saw initially the first round, he won that first round.
Yeah.
The body that he was working on, but then when he got clipped, and Fury hits hard, man. He reverted back to that old ways of his. But the thing is, though, he was still dangerous even with his old ways because he can time that shit good, and that's why he caught him. He caught him. Obviously, yes, Fury thought it was in the pocket. He's gonna take it. It's done, and he moved in. He got hit. A solid shot right to the face, man. It wasn't at the right distance that Wilder usually throws his bombs, but Fury stepped into that shit and he got hit right in the fucking face. And that was that. Yeah, and if that round had continued any further, Fury would have been stopped in that fourth round. I'm telling you right now.
All right.
Yeah, he would have been stopped. He got lucky. The bell rang. He got lucky and recovered, and Fury recovers quick. But I think Wilder recovers even faster than Fury does, from what I just saw. It's just that he took a lot more punishment.
All right, guys, we gotta take another phone call. 562. You're on the air. 562. 562.
Hi, what's going on, guys? Hey, big fan of the show. It was a great fight. Two warriors really going at it. Obviously, Fury probably going to win 9 times out of 10. But I have a fun fact here. I don't know if any of you guys ever listened to the LDBC Talking Heads.
The LDBC who?
Talking Heads on YouTube.
No.
Oh, you guys are not aware of a guy named like Drew Titan, 78 Sports TV, those guys?
Oh, we know about licking Deontay Balls cult?
Anyway, this guy Drew Titan, that guy's a funny guy, man. They be making all these excuses for Wilder and all the conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
We sat literally right behind him. He was all by himself. We were basically in the nosebleed, and he was up there. He was kind of flexing and shit, trying, but he was by himself. And I'll tell you what, man, I don't have a horse in the race. I just love boxing. We had an opportunity with my brother to be there when Fury got knocked out. He booked it. Have you ever seen a girl, like a high school girl, she gets embarrassed and she runs out of the classroom, runs into the door? That's basically what this dude did. I'm telling you, it was the most satisfying thing I've ever seen in my life.
Paul, you should have recorded that shit, man.
Who was this? Who was this?
Okay.
Wait,
Guys, let me talk. Okay, because you guys can hear the phone call properly. Even I have trouble. He said that he was at the arena. He was sitting behind Drew Titan. And when Fury won by stoppage, he said he ran out of the arena, basically. Yeah.
I swear to God, he ran out. He was kind of pushing through a few people, but he just couldn't get out of there quick enough. Then I like to listen to his podcast because, well, I know how much of a kind of a fanboy he is, right, for Wilder, and I'm a boxing fan. I like to be neutral, but I like to listen to those guys just to see where everybody's at, right?
Oh, man.
And so I went, first thing I did when we got back to our room, it was like, let me see if this dude went on, live or and he wasn't on. He was on this morning, and he was telling tales as if he was with a big group. If you listen to his podcast this morning,
yeah,
he was saying that he was with a group of people, and they were congregating. That's false, dude. That guy was all by himself in the nosebleed. I was like, oh, true story.
He starts telling people he was in the dressing room with Wilder and shit.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, that's just a fun fact. I wanted to share that with y'all, but I thought that, I got to give Wilder his credit, man. He fought his ass off. He doesn't have skills. He has power, but he did what he could, man. Got to give the man credit.
I agree, man. Gotta give him. He has a lot of heart. Anyways, caller, thanks for this, man. Amazing. Call back again next time.
No problem. All right, you guys have a good one.
Mucho, I'm thinking if this was like George Foreman versus Wilder,
yeah,
Foreman would have got fucking knocked out, man. Foreman has heart, but he doesn't have that much heart, bro. You watch his fights, he just does not have that much heart. Wilder would have KO'd Foreman.
I don't know. No, Foreman had a fucking chin,
I'm not talking about Lennox Lewis. I'm not saying Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. I'm just talking about Foreman. Foreman is just a brute. And when you watch his fights, he's just a walking he's kind of like in a way you could probably say like Joy Joyce in a way, but he's a brute. Mostly his skill is not like there. It's not there. He has something, but it's just he relies on power, just like Wilder does a lot more. And
yeah, people in the chat people in the chat are saying that Foreman would kill Wilder. They completely disagree with what you're saying.
I don't think so, bro. Smaller man, and on top of that, the reach advantage that Wilder has.
He can't use his reach.
He's gonna catch him, and even if he gets hit, he's not gonna go down instantly. He's gonna recover quick, and he's gonna throw his bomb again. And next thing you know, Foreman's on his ass and can't get back up. That's what I see happening in that kind of fight. But that's obviously a fantasy fight that will never happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe we can do a special show like fantasy fights. I still think Foreman had a pretty good fucking chin, so who knows? Yeah, but maybe we should wrap this show up. Anything else, guys? I'm disappointed that the LDBC didn't really call in, but I mean, why would they?
I just want to say that was great. That was a great call with Drew Titan to hear that he was by himself and lied about who he was with, and then he ran out like he caught his fucking girlfriend going down on Bubba. That's some funny ass.
And then he said
shit.
he couldn't get out quickly, like leave because there was a lot of people. So he's like,
well, he didn't want to see it. He's like fucking. He's gonna cry in his car, man. You know what I mean? You don't want anybody to see him crying.
Well, to BDA, I forgot. When you asked me about it, if Wilder were in the military, if I would want him by my side, oh hell no, he's too tall. When you're tall like him, you're more of a target. You get shot at more.
Big oh yeah, he would be picked off 6'7". They wouldn't even put him in the infantry,
why I said-
Gonzalez.
that's why I
They'd have him
said-
in the back, brother.
That's why I said, Gonzalo, he'll get you killed.
Yeah.
Oh, you said that. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's true.
Well, literally, because of his height, dude, the Army infantry wouldn't even put him up front on the front line because foxholes would have to be fucking 3 feet deeper. You know what I mean?
Not for
He'd probably
nothing.
be in the honor guard or something. No, with
Yeah,
the president.
armored or in the back.
Oh no, he would wear a Captain America suit type of thing and do like shows and stuff like that. I don't
You know what?
just saw
The
that movie a
other
few days
problem
ago.
too would be he would be in the barracks. He would probably be a pain in the ass. Looking at how
He'd be
he's
making
been.
everything racial like he was fucking doing this whole fight. Listen, that's my number one thing, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever. You want to lie and your ego can't handle your loss. But this motherfucker never stopped pushing the racial. Never stopped. I mean, you got Spence and Clarissa Shields. They're all going down and attacking the black people right now on Twitter who didn't, back Wilder, their people. It's like, know what it is? The problem is, listen, white people, I mean, there was a few, like I said, research. Enough people were fucking 100,000 people interviewed. 75% of blacks find their race to be very or extremely important. Just 15% of whites do. So we think nonstop about race the way they do. And it's just not the case. So, and I dislike that fucking divisiveness. And that's why he was never embraced by the United States, because he only embraced a certain segment of the United States.
Right before the fight happened, the channel Hakeem, whatever his fucking name means.
Hakeem,
yeah, that motherfucker. He put a video up of there's a problem with the gloves before the fight's even starting, and then eventually Wilder picked about the same amount of gloves. It's not the same brand, but the same style, horsehair puncher's gloves. He picked the puncher's glove, and then when he got dropped in that third round, I was like, where's the excuses now? I was like, all that shit you were talking, you're wearing the same gloves he's wearing now. Where is your excuse? Even if you knock
they looked beat up. The gloves looked beat up and used. That was because they're sample gloves. They were the ones that they bring to shows and fucking booths, and everybody tries them on. And the thing is, too, they come from the factory in hermetically sealed packages. You know what I mean? The machine sucks all the air out. So right when you open them out of the box, they're crinkled. And they just didn't grasp it. They didn't want to grasp it. The thing is, everything they said, there was a fucking barrage of things to counteract everything they said. They just never listened to it.
Yeah, no, I know those gloves, bro. That's not the thing. It's just that the fact that happened to him. And then I was like, even if you knock his ass out in the fourth round, you still can't justify all the bullshit that you said last time.
Exactly.
I was saying that, yeah.
Exactly.
And then I was like, and then shit happened. I was like, I told my pops, but I was watching my pops. I was like, even if he knocks him out in the fourth round, if happenstance, shit happens. He hits him in the fourth, and guess what? It fucking happened. I said it and it fucking happened. I was like, oh man, my fucking mouth. But the same, the thing is, though, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you just got dropped in the third round, bro. What are you going to say now? Like, you weren't prepared in the second fight. Okay, but I get it. But
hey, guys, hold on, Gonzalo. Can you just quickly read a super chat quickly and then you can talk? Amok PvP, thank you for your contribution. He says, Fury versus Wilder is the best name ever for a fight based on their last name. All right. I think I'm missing the point here, but...
that is a good point, right?
What's the point? I didn't get it.
Fury, Wilder.
Oh, it rhymes?
Well, you got Wilder.
Oh, okay, yeah, he explained it. Yeah.
Then you got the Fury.
Yeah,
one's wilding and one's furious.
Yeah,
they have catchy names, yeah.
Catchy.
They do.
Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah, supposedly Wilder's mother got his Fury's last birthday, and Fury's mother got Wilder's birthday. It's weird. Something like crazy they were speaking. He should have just kept his old gloves, because if you're not used to punching with that glove, I assume he should have just kept the other ones, because that would have probably made him punch harder. Because if you're not used to punching with that glove, it's like punching with no gloves. Sometimes you can't fully commit to your shots because you don't got nothing protecting you, and you're gonna break your hand. So when you're susceptible to breaking your hand or you injure your hand, like for example in the street fight, you can't punch. That's what a lot of times you end up throwing like open hands when you're fighting in the street because you hurt your hands. So
Gonzalo,
that's his old gloves. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's the reason why he went to those old style. And remember back in the day, a few years ago, it was every other fight he was breaking his hand. He was having hand issues. He had Everlast actually made him the bronze bomber pair. It was extra padding in certain areas to help protect his hand. So that goes to show you how lack of confidence when you're like, I'm going to abandon the gloves that I've been keeping my hand safe to get what advantage? Does he really think
looked like he hurt his hand?
He even said it with his own
looked like
mouth.
he hurt his hand at the end of the fight. He looked like he, I think it was the 8th or the 7th round. You could
Somewhere
see
in
the way
like the ninth, around that area. I think that was me. Yeah.
He throws
His
hammer
hand
punches,
looked weird.
dude. That's why he throws hammer punches. He doesn't
It's
land with the
terrible.
the front two knuckles.
What you was gonna say, Gypsy?
Bro, I was gonna say, yeah, his hand looked fucking weird, bro. Like I was looking at him like this fool broke his hand. I feel like if he's not gonna commit too much, but I know, and actually, no, I take it back. I thought he was gonna commit, even though his hand was broken. Usually, because that's the type of guy he is. But yeah, his hand looked fucking weird. His wrist looked disformed.
He started free falling. I was like, oh man, Wilder's done. Right, like in the 10th round.
Yeah.
And then the fucking
They asked
last
him in his
round.
corner. Well, they asked in the corner, and the girl there who goes and talk to Connor, and they said there was nothing wrong with his hands at all.
No, I'm not saying he broke it.
I know. I'm
but
just
he
saying.
looked-
I know.
he
I'm not
looked
saying you guys are. I'm just saying.
uncomfortable. He
just
looked
letting them know.
uncomfortable with his hand. He started doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
weird shit. Yeah. Because
Some of
listen,
the gloves just didn't
horsehair,
feel right.
when you this is the way I understand it back in the 90s and in the early 2000s, right? They, we go to the gym, and if you're talking about having a professional fight, they'll be like, yo, you should wear certain type of gloves depending on your hands. Some people have stronger hands than others, so puncher's gloves are really good for dudes that punch hard because they got strong hands. They got what Roy Jones would say, I got bricks. Right, he would always brag about, because he knew his hands were strong enough that if he wore puncher's gloves, it's not going to break his hand.
The thing is, Mayweather doesn't like people who fight with puncher's gloves. If
I was about to say he wouldn't allow it. Yeah, Mayweather didn't let people wear those.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Either
a lot
did
of
Andre
times-
Ward.
If you get a glove with the foam that's got plenty of padding, you can commit more to your shot, right? You can pour more speed and more leverage on it because you're not afraid to throw it.
Yeah, correct. But some people like the puncher's glove because they know that, for instance, like horsehair, your opponent, it's all legal. These are all legal gloves. It's not like a special glove that if you wear it, the guy's gonna win automatically. No, but the puncher's glove, what they call it, the puncher's glove, because it starts fitting, like especially the MX. Starts to, as the fight goes on, it starts to fit your like
molds,
your hands, like a fucking like it's painted on, actually. You know. Yep.
Hey,
And it separates.
Guys,
It separates too, unlike foam.
all right, guys, we got a lot of people who want to also speak over here on StreamYard. Now on StreamYard, you say what you need to say. We talk a little bit, and then we move on to the next person, right? Or else it's gonna be chaotic. So we're gonna start with L Dog. L Dog, go ahead.
Yo, what's up, everyone? It's a glorious day. Oh man, this is bad info.
What do you think about the fight? Give us your thoughts, man.
Yeah, man. Look, to be honest, Fury, I had him as my number 2 heavyweight, but after that fight, I think he's gonna have to drop down to maybe 3, 4, or even 5 on my rankings, because let's be honest, the dude got dropped twice by a bum. Deontay Wilder is a fucking bum, dude. He doesn't get credit for beating a bum, especially when he struggled against the bum. You should be able to destroy a fighter like Deontay Wilder. So to me, AJ overtakes him, and I think even Dillian White overtakes Tyson Fury.
I think they're closer fights, L Dog. You're right. I mean, I'm not saying Fury's a bum or anything. He's that bad, but he really should have taken out Wilder earlier yesterday. It was in my opinion, it was a bad performance. Yeah.
Easier.
I agree. I'm joking around, obviously, when I say he's a bum.
When he's in shape, we saw what he can do when he's in shape. Remember the one-sided throttling in the second fight when he came in really fucking primed in shape? and was motivated. We saw what he did.
That's what I wanted
this
to
fight,
say,
it wasn't the same shape.
Jimmy, in the second fight, he was active. In this one, 2 years of was it 2 or a year and a half of inactivity?
Yeah, you're right.
So he didn't look physically to me. He didn't look like the way he was looking. He looked husky, big, like muscular type, kind of, but not exactly. It's a little pudgy. But in this one, he kind of looked floppy. That makes sense to me. Yes, obviously, but Wilder is dangerous even when he's hurt. And he won't go down easily. Even that second fight, he could have kept going. His eardrum was busted early on in the fight. His eardrum got busted in this fight later on in the fight, maybe in the 10th round or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly. And that one had happened in the 3rd round. And he still wasn't going down. That guy has heart. And it would take a lot more to finish him off even when he's hurt. Ortiz had him hurt, same situation. I think a couple other guys, I can't think of the guys that hurt him right now, but there's a couple other guys that hurt him too, and he's still dangerous, and he finished him. On that hurt status, that's why Fury was cautious, and even after, especially after he got dropped in the 4th round. He was extremely cautious. I was like, bro, careful in the right hand every fucking time. Every round that he kept going, I was like, careful of the right hand. He can toss it at any moment in time and catch you, and that's it. That's all she wrote. And that's a problem for AJ. Not for Usyk. Usyk will figure he's got a chin too. He'll figure out a way. But for AJ, definitely. 100%. For Dylan White, 100%.
All right.
Michael Hunter, durable motherfucker. He might last a little bit longer. You never know. Few other fighters I can think of off the top of my head. Who else is there? If you guys can help me out here. Chisora gets slept. Chisora gets slept. The way he fights, he'll get slept.
Forget about Chisora.
Yeah. Anyways.
There's really 7 or 8 good heavyweights or decent heavyweights.
Yeah, then beyond that,
Andy
you're
Ruiz.
really...
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz could get slept.
Oh, yeah.
What about Joe Joyce?
No, wait a minute.
Joe Joyce is a tough one. Yeah, Joe Joyce has a chin on him, but I think Joe Joyce, if he keeps getting caught with that right hand, because he's a stiff guy, he doesn't really move his head as much. If he gets caught, I don't know. I don't know how well Joyce is going to take those shots. It's a tough one to call.
All right, guys, let's move on to Boxing Magic. Go ahead, Boxing Magic. Are you there? Yep, we can hear you, man. All right, we can hear the guy. Who else is here? No, wait. Who was first here? Kenshiro, go ahead.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. What are you asking? So I literally just joined in. What are you asking about? How Fury's going to do in the future, or what? What's the exact question? Sorry.
No, just your thoughts about the fight, and yeah, if you want, you can tell us what you think is going to happen in the future.
I mean, future-wise, obviously depends what happens to Joshua Usyk, but hopefully he fights one of them for the undisputed. But in more prevalent terms, I mean, this morning's fight for us, I guess. I mean, Deontay Wilder, he done round 1. I thought he was quite good, to be honest. And Fury probably had to think, obviously, Wilder's got a bit of a game plan. Fury got caught twice in one round, got up. But these things happen with heavyweights. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, heavyweights, very seldom you get heavy. It's not like Floyd Mayweather. He says, I've never been knocked down in my life. Heavyweights it's hard to do that sort of thing. So while Fury got up, he carried on forward, changed his game plan slightly. Wilder was throwing Hail Mary shots. And you guys know if you miss a punch, that takes even more energy. So Fury adjusted his game plan slightly and came away with it. And I think generally overall, he will beat Wilder anytime, with whatever game plan he comes up with.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. He will always beat him. Anything else?
No, I mean, obviously, Wilder, just very quickly, with Wilder, it's, I don't, obviously, he didn't want to shake Fury's hand or have a chat with him. I mean, I think even prior to the fight, Wilder's family was insulting Fury and this and that, and I think, what a bunch of clowns and sort of get hood rats.
All right, great call, man. We'll call back again next time, all right?
Yeah. Oh, thank you, man.
All right, hold on. We gotta go to Amok PvP. Go ahead, your thoughts.
I thought it was a very exciting, entertaining fight. But easy on the eyes. Also thought it was a really good name for a fight. For the fans that think that Wilder's done. I still think he can collect a few paychecks. You can fight like Miller, Joyce, Rivas, Kaunaki, and that's about it.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to see him fight Ruiz or Helenius. I don't think
Well,
Wilder
I
should
honestly
lose
think Ruiz will beat him, but I mean, that's
maybe,
just me.
but it would be an exciting fight. You never know, man. Listen, Wilder
Yeah,
I think
I'm
should
sure
retire. I don't think he's
it'll
going to
be a
become
good-
a champion ever again, but never say never. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, mentally, I don't think he can beat White or Ruiz Jr. Maybe with the tune-up fight.
Hey, maybe. Hey, Ruiz hasn't been looking good, man, so you never know. But
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Thanks for joining us a little bit here. All right, who's next here? Boxing Lounge. Go ahead. I can't hear him. Oh, dear God.
Bro, this dude got it.
Go ahead. Logical man.
All right, man. I just want to say L Dog's an idiot, man. Said that Walter's a bum. I wouldn't say he's a bum, but he's not. I wouldn't say it's hard to say Walter's a bum, bro. That's what he showed with their third fight. But I can't say it was a great fight. I thought Fury was going to beat him by in 5 rounds. And to L Dog comment about, even guys saying, oh, he was sloppy and Fury was out of shape. Well, he did want to come in and pack more weight to finish Walter faster. That was the whole game plan. So, hey, I'm taking this guy out 5 rounds quick and easy, but it didn't go that way.
All right. So you're saying that Fury did come in shape?
I couldn't really say that because he packed on weight to knock him out faster.
Did he look fat to you, or like? So you're saying he came in shape, basically?
Well, Fury doesn't have a nice, sculptured body in the first place. I really can't say that. Oh man, he was nicely shaped. He was swole. I can't say that because Fury has a bad body type anyway. So I really can't say.
All right. But so you think he made a mistake in coming in too heavy?
No. I think he tried his game plan, but just Walter was just, man, a tough motherfucker, man. But he got him in the 11th round, but Walter was tough. He had heart. He was doing pretty good that body for the first rounds, man. But, it's all, like Fury said, he's going to revert back to what he knows, and that's what happened. It seems that I think that Walter should have 2 more fights. That's what I believe. He should fight some other top 10, but I think he still do pretty well for his last 2 fights. But seeing him being champion, I don't see it because if Usyk or Fury has that belt, one of those belts, he's not going to be able to pass that test unless he get a lucky shot in. Or if some miracle, his tune-ups or his fights can help him improve that much to get one of those belts. But that's not going to happen.
All right. Well, interesting prediction for the future. What about Fury with Dylan White?
Man, Fury, when he fights Dillian White, I think it'd be harder of a test. The reason I say this is because Dillian White knows how to work that body. You guys can know when you was watching that fight versus I watched it live on pay-per-view. When you was watching that fight with Walter, he had so many opportunities to work that body in the corner, to do body shots while Fury was ducking down. But Dillian White won't make those mistakes. White won't do it. Usyk won't do it. And even AJ, I believe. But I really do believe that, this is just my opinion, I really believe this, that Walter has a better chin and more heart than AJ. I don't care what nobody say about that. That's exactly what I see, dude. Because Walter was, he was getting up from a lot of things. He was taking a lot of punishment. And if he knew how to actually block himself and move that head, it probably would win the decision.
Yeah, I think at this point, in my opinion, it's too late for what ifs with Wilder. I mean, we always for years we've been saying if he did this, if he did that, he'd be much better. But he never really improved that much. Caller, thanks for calling. Join us next time, all right? You seem to know boxing. All right, take care.
I was gonna say, Dylan White went life and death with Chisora 2 times. Life and death with Chisora. Fury didn't have that kind of problem with Chisora. He didn't go life.
And he
and
got
death.
knocked out by old man Povetkin.
Yeah,
exactly.
Who made a highlight reel out of him?
I think we're exaggerating here a little bit.
that was a sweet shot.
It was sort of a lucky shot, but I mean, he still got caught and he still got dropped. So
I don't think it was lucky. I think that's something that Povetkin practiced.
Look, I'm not.
Yeah, you knocked him out, right? I mean, and to do that kind of shot, go look at that. Go look at the way he did that shot and ask yourself, you think he just did that by accident, or it was like a guy who fucking
recognize? Wasn't it a lead left uppercut?
Like fucking no, he feinted like he was gonna jab, slipped, came in with an uppercut, boom, knocked him out.
Lead left uppercut off of a feint of a jab. Yeah,
lead left uppercut. He feinted like he was gonna go to the body. He came upstairs.
body.
He came upstairs with an uppercut.
The thing is, Dylan White is suspect on the chin, on the bottom of the chin, on an uppercut. That's how AJ knocked his ass out too. He hit him an uppercut, put him on the ropes, and he couldn't get up. He's suspect of that shit, bro. And Povetkin, yes, he practices. I'm not saying everybody practices their combinations. It's just that he just got lucky that Dylan didn't see it at that moment in time, and because Dylan knocked him down twice. And to come off that was I think that was the knockout of last year, was it? Yeah, I think it was last year. That was a knockout of last year, without a question. But
luck is seizing the opportunity, and that's exactly what he did.
Pretty much, yeah.
Guys, hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. That's gonna help the show. Hit the like button and like and subscribe. Go ahead, Chief.
No, I was just I was trying to remember where I got that from. It was Hasim Rotman that said after Lennox Lewis was a lucky punch. He said, "Luck is seizing the opportunity."
Yeah, unlucky. Unfortunate was when Povetkin came in sick in the second fight, because that's what I think did him in. He didn't have his legs under him. Now that's lucky on the behalf of the White, having to face a guy like that, a shell of himself.
But White came in heavier and bigger than he did in the last fight. I think he said in his fight, after he had the first fight, he said, I was a mistake coming in this light. Should have come in a little heavier. Because I think I don't know what weight he came in, but I forgot the weights. But he was heavier by maybe at least 10 to 20 pounds or something like that. I think somewhere around that area. And that's where he likes to fight at, Dylan White. And yeah, so it's a different fight when he comes in heavier like that.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that.
Feel the same way.
Recognize I just posted. I just posted the last the knockout punch. It's in the whatever you call it, the stream or the. That's the last punch. Yeah, I don't know if it got because it only allows you to send so much, but it was a feint and the uppercut, and then he followed with that right cross, and that's what face plants him.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember. I just posted.
Yeah, it was a good card overall. I don't know if somebody's speaking.
I posted a video right above yours, Jimmy, of the punch, the sequence of the knockout, the final knockout, in slow motion. So you can see
yeah, there it is. Yeah, I got it in slow, but you got it in super slow. Yeah, he waved that shit off before he even fucking planted.
God damn.
Yeah, I got one thing to say for Wilder, maybe even his fanboys as well. I got one thing I'm out. That hate that he has for Fury, keep that same energy and use it for the other fights. Yes, you didn't shake his hand. Maybe 2 years from now, you probably shake his hand and say, I'm sorry. You were the better man that day, whatever. Because that's just usually sometimes shit like that happens. But because there was a lot of animosity between them.
You really think he's going to continue to fight? You really think he's going to continue to fight?
I think he has. I think he has that heart that I saw in that fight. I think he'll continue with that heart for a few more fights.
Well, let me ask you, brother, man. Yeah. Where's the money going to come from, and who's he going to fight? So my point being, he's made $20 million minimum, fucking for the last four or five fights. His next fight, he will not make more than $2 million.
2 fights. His last 2 fights.
He got paid. Actually, he got.
Oh he did get
for Ortiz too. Yeah, he got $22 million for that.
And Brazil. You're right. So
Brazil, he got $20 million, and then he got now these 3 fucking Fury fights. He got $20 million. So now you're gonna tell him he's gonna make 1.5 after taxes. He'll take home $750,000.
Nah, Jimmy,
camp and everything else.
Jimmy, this is the fights that he has. That's lucrative fights. Andy Ruiz, possibly
How's
AJ.
How's that lucrative?
Mexican fan base.
No, Mexicans.
You think they're gonna spend? You think they're gonna buy between $500,000 and $1 million?
Heyman does pay-per-view.
Wait, hold on.
He's not going to make the same as what he did over here. But then there's also the AJ fight after AJ loses to Usyk again, because he will.
But then again, brother, to that point, why would it be worth that kind of money? They won't have belts. It's going to have to be a pay-per-view.
But
It's
it
the
could be
name.
like a $10 million fight.
Wilder's not going to travel across to Saudi Arabia. He's not going to go to Europe. My point
Well, he
being,
has no
as it
choice.
stands now, Heyman doesn't have the money to put these fights on anyways. That's why
He
he's
has
putting
no choice.
Romero against Davis on as a pay-per-view. He can't even afford their fucking measly salaries.
Yeah, but Wilder
It's
has
not
no
a promotional
choice.
company. There's no money in that fucking place.
Jimmy,
Every
Jimmy.
fight, yes.
Wilder has no choice anymore. He lost the option of big money comfort zone, right?
Exactly.
Let's be honest. The only reason why Fury fought him in Vegas is because he's protected. He's protected by he's got Bob Arum. So it's going to be fair. At the very least, it's going to be straight up, right? You win or I win, one of the two. Okay? So Wilder already lost that. So let's say, for instance, let's say if you're AJ, right? If you're Anthony Joshua and you lose another fight to Usyk, okay, the money might go down, but you're still in power, right? And especially if you lose a close fight, okay, which I do think that AJ could win that fight. I'm going with Usyk. Obviously, I'm going to go with him, but like I don't write AJ off. But let's just hypothetically speaking, AJ loses. AJ's probably in a better situation after a Usyk loss than Wilder is, and could
absolutely.
and could tell Wilder, "Hey, we'll give you like $10 to $15 million, but you come over here, okay?" And Wilder can't be in a situation where he's like, "No. Okay, then you don't get $10 to $15 million then."
Exactly. And the difference is he comes from money. DAZN and Eddie Hearn's promotion has millions, tens of millions of dollars they can throw around. Al Heyman has there's no money there. He's
That's
not a
what I'm saying.
promoter.
So Al
He's
Heyman
just, you know what I mean? He's just an advisor.
So Al
He needs
Heyman
somebody
is
else to put up the money.
Now that we've talked about
Jimmy,
the boxing, that's what I wanted to ask Jimmy. In terms of now Wilder's lost, they had to pay him $20 million for this.
Yeah.
But apparently they did better. Like you said, Jimmy, I think you said that last night that they did better pay-per-views than the
It's projected to do better than the second fight. This one actually might be profitable, which Fox must really be painful.
So my question is, how long does the PBC have, or do they have anything left, or are they in a good position right now? Like, what's going on?
Well, I mean, that wasn't a Fox; it was an ESPN. Fox is carrying. Fox is Well, even wait a minute, Canelo. Do we know what? Okay, who's doing? All right, that'll be ESPN. That'll be Crawford Porter. That has nothing to do with the BBC. But I believe Canelo Plant. That's going to be Showtime. I don't know what the next Fox pay-per-view is supposed to be. I don't know. But again, it has to be somebody to put up the money. Either Showtime puts up the money or Fox. Al Heyman has no money. He's not a promoter. He's just an advisor. He doesn't go out of pocket. So if these guys can't generate, meaning if they can't go out and say, okay, I will be able to get paid this, like Bob Arum, like they knew in this pay-per-view, this is what we're going to sell or projected to sell. This is what the pay scale is going to be. Now Wilder has no belts, so he has no fucking power there. So he's the B-side automatically. So that means he has to travel. And then if he fights Andy Ruiz, he has no belts. That thing doesn't do 250,000 buys.
Nope.
And listen, and everybody knows that. It doesn't do 250,000. I'm telling you right now. I would bet my life that thing doesn't do 250,000.
I wouldn't bet my life on that, but I'm saying it's possible that he does get that fight will actually generate a lot of interest, and also the AJ fight if AJ loses.
But what I'm saying though, you got to sell it to somebody. Someone's got to be an investor. You're a hedge fund. Just whatever. You're a multi-millionaire. You have money to invest. You're gonna, if you know anything about boxing, they're gonna come to you and say, okay, we need $75 million, and you say, what's this projected to sell? Honestly, between 250, and then you start doing the math. The provider loses, takes 50% right off the top. Go, okay, so what you're asking me is to lose 40 million? Is that the plan here? Like nobody's gonna touch that. Nobody.
But
nobody's gonna touch those fights.
For instance, Chisora lost so many times, but every time he fights, he does make millions. Let's not kid ourselves.
No, he doesn't. His last payday was 900,000.
Whoa. Well, that's almost a million.
In a weird way, it's good that all the heavyweights are losing. Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and even these prospects coming up, Ify Ajagba, fucking Kaunachki. There's no undefeated guy aside from Fury and Usyk, which doesn't seem to be that polarizing. So in a way, they still got opportunities.
I need to check that, by the way. I might be wrong on that, on the Chisora one. I'm thinking of Joyce maybe, but I have to go check there on Forbes They usually put it up. But the thing is with those guys, like, again, they need investors. Fury will have it. Obviously, he's got fucking Top Rank and all their money behind them, and plus all the connections in the Vegas. It just, and then you got to figure in all those other criterias. Outside of this, remember, going into tonight, last night's fight, is this Virtuoso I'm talking to? I'm having a very hard time hearing you, that's why I can't make it out. But all his fights have lost money. Do you know Wilder Ortiz 2? That fight lost almost $20 million. That's the fight that's caused the Fox relationship with PBC to sour, because they lost so much money. They're like, what the fuck? Everything you promised us hasn't come to fruition. That's why they were hesitant on re-signing that last deal. So as it stands now, PBC doesn't even have a platform. They have whatever fucking slots Showtime's going to offer, and they've already offered them up for the rest of the year. That's it. Right now, they don't even have any slots to offer anybody. They're going to have to use a streaming service.
Right. And
This ain't Virtuoso, but this ain't Virtuoso. It's Gypsy. First of all,
Gypsy,
and then,
sorry about that.
yeah, sorry, it's all good, bro. The thing is, though,
Don't let him get away with it.
The thing is, though, Ortiz, he wasn't much of anything at the time when he fought Ortiz, but after this Fury fight, his name is projected. All three of these fights, it's a little more fame. It's about the name. It's not about the titles at this point for both. Even AJ loses, it's about the name. It's about Andy Ruiz's name. It's about AJ's name. It's about Wilder's name. If these guys decide to fight, there is money to be projected because of the fame, the name that they have. Just like how fucking Jake Paul did it, man. Who the fuck is Jake Paul? And he made the amount of money he did.
He has a higher platform and stuff. What was Andy Ruiz's last pay skit? What was his last payday on his last pay-per-view against Areola?
I don't know.
Areola's a bomb. Yeah,
that was two Mexican fighters, and that thing barely cracked 100,000 sales.
And Jimmy,
So
and
how
the
is it
fight,
gonna-
Jimmy,
what's
and the fight sucked. So he's not doing himself any favors here. Mexican, just because he's Mexican doesn't mean all Mexicans are gonna want to watch him. You know, at some point,
Gypsy, you were talking about the possible opponents. Jimmy and I are in the same boat on this one, though, is the fact that these are names that people would tune in to watch on TV. Yes, TV, Showtime, ESPN, not pay-per-view. These aren't going to sell. And even if they do sell, what are they going to? Are they going to sell enough to guarantee Wilder what? Maybe 5 million, and then maybe 2 or 3 in the back end at the most. These aren't the kind of names that are going to really sell out stadiums, or make people flock to them, or make a TV company say, "Hey, you know what? I'll put up the money for this because we'll get it back in ratings."
Bro, 5 million might seem little to these to these guys. I mean, but 5 million is still money, bro. You know, I mean,
it is.
Like,
But I mean, Wilder's
But do you realize that? Oh, sorry, brother.
For Wilder's
Yeah, but
used to make
nobody on the
4 times
PBC is making $5 million.
No, who is making
The highest payday Sean Porter's about to make is fighting under Top Rank.
Yep.
Hey, how much did Spence make against Danny Garcia?
He gets guaranteed half the money that Crawford makes. Crawford makes $3.5 million guaranteed per fight. Empty stadium, COVID restrictions, doesn't matter. Spence 1.75, and he's the highest paid per fight person at the PBC.
Whoa!
But it just goes to show you real quick. It just goes to show you Spence is fighting the better opposition, and he's getting paid the least. That's why you're supposed to sign with a competent promoter and not with an advisor who uses surrogate promoter to get the job done.
Good point.
Well, the other part with Spence is that comes into play is when Carpenter's. Well, he's one of the guys. With some of the stuff that I've written, and some of it's been from Mike Carpenter, they'll say, the numbers were projected to have sold this, so he could have made up to. Those are all the key words. All anybody looks at is they skim through and they look for whatever says a dollar sign next to it with the number next to it, which is assumed to be in millions, and think that that's what he made. So against Sean Porter, it said he could have, Mikey Garcia could have made up to $8 million. Okay, well, he could have. You're right. What did he make? That's not released.
Good point.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Hey, guys. All right, I got to end the show, all right? So you guys can stay and keep talking.
All right, real quick, Chisora, $1.5 million. That's what he made his last fight.
Chisora, but that was a Parker fight. I mean, with Dylan White, what did he do? That was like 2 fights before, I think. Before Usyk, I think that's what it was.
Hey, one more
1.75
thing.
million.
BDA, did you catch the Vladimir Hernandez fight versus J. Rock Williams?
Yes,
I
that
heard
was.
J-Rock lost, right?
But wait a sec. Jimmy, he offered Dylan White $5 million on the side just for the fight to be made. How did he make 1.7 million? I mean,
That's projection. That's a projection pay-per-view, meaning that's what you can fight. That's what you can make up to. But that's not what that wasn't guaranteed.
All right, guys, you can still hear me on the chat. Thank you for joining us. Great show. We're going to have more shows. Actually, we might even have a show tomorrow. We can do a special show on the heavyweight division because I just noticed there's a lot of fights that can be made, even though we have like half a dozen decent boxers right now. So we can talk about that. If you have any other ideas, let me know in the community section of the channel. We can talk about, well, we'll see. I'll see what you guys want to talk about. I think it's a good idea to talk about the heavyweight division. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you like, join the membership program where you have access to special emojis and film analysis videos that are created by Mr. BDA. Also, don't forget to check out the boxing documentary that Mr. BDA posted a few days ago. It's on Canelo versus Plant. Great documentary. Go check that out. All right, guys. Take care. See you next time. Oh, wait. Why am I playing that shit song again?
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more. I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot. Let's just kill those fucking men.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lomito! You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.